Boom, welcome back to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs, and today I'm welcomed by my co-host Gib and everyone, the returning Rockstar Z. Welcome back, my dude, Rockstar Z.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. Talk some fights. Fun card to start off the year. I know we both have a few
Yeah,
bets in play already, so yeah, stoked to get into it.
yeah, just like you said, man, this is a fun card to start off the year. The main event's definitely going to be a banger. Whether you're on Stevens or Choi, I think this is going to be one of the. A lot of people are sleeping on it. I think, man, I think this is going to be not only fight of the night. I think this is already a contender for fight of the year. So there are two guys who like to come and bang. I can see it already as a fight of the year candidate, man. But
Great way to start off the year.
yeah, great way to start off the year for sure, 100%. And we got a bunch of fights to pick through. So let's start off. We're gonna start off with Mike Santiago versus Mads Bernal. And Gib, I'll let you take this one, bro.
I like the Mads Bernal fight because Mads Bernal's coming from a very interesting place. I think it's his first time in the UFC.
No,
and,
he fought
sorry, on the Tuesday night fights, correct?
No, he fought Prezeris before.
Oh, okay. Coming in off of the two neckties, that doesn't happen by mistake at all. You got to be really good to lock those up. So Mads Bernal definitely coming in with a pretty deadly submission game. No knockouts to speak of, so it's a little iffy. I mean, the guy does come from Denmark, so, I mean, there could be a kickboxing background behind that possibly. Mike Santiago looking really good. I mean, his only real big loss was against Sabit, and that guy's a killer, absolute killer. And if he's in the octagon with anyone less, he's going for that kill. And we already know that he can get his KOs in. He already has submissions. I mean, Mads Bernal could lock up a nice little submission and maybe impress everybody, but Mike Santiago definitely has the experience and just a little bit more, just like a bit more of a high level experience with this beat fight. So I actually take Mike Santiago in that one, and I don't think Mads can pull a lot of his stuff out, and I think Mike makes it rough for him to do so.
Yeah, initially when I was taping this fight, I had a heavy lean on Mike Santiago. He looked good against Mark Cherico, I believe that's his name, in the Tuesday Night Contender Series fights. I had Cherico that night, I remember, and man, Santiago just presses you up against the cage, real nice. Unleashes these body shots, real crisp boxing. He's got some subs on his record as well. And before there's a beat fight, he won 10 fights in a row. He was on like a fucking win streak and a half. Looking great. And then we got Mads Bernardo, who locked you up nasty submissions, like Gibbs said, two Japanese neckties. And it looks like he can box as well, man. The guy is like no fool from standing up as well, which leads me to think it's just like this is going to be a tough matchup. I don't know if it. I think if it goes to the ground, I think Bernal has the advantage for sure. But especially being in with a huge monster like Prezeris at 155 and this being at 145, I think he knows the strength difference already is going to be a big factor. And he usually controls guys on the ground too. He looks good on the ground. Mike Santiago, just to play devil's advocate here, is like I said, he presses up against the cage, and I think he'll be good standing up if this stays standing up. It's hard for me to choose because I don't know where this fight's going to take place, so it's a pass for me. But I'm probably going to go with Mads Bernal to sneak up and get the W here because it looks like Santiago has some trouble with some takedown defense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Santiago started his career, like he was a 50-50 fighter, and that was only he was 10-8 4 years ago. So he definitely turned it around. He went on that big win streak, like you said. Southpaw, he's got good hands, good boxing. I've seen some of his boxing fights as well. And one thing that he does really well that I love southpaws is the right hook because it can come over the jab of the orthodox
Yeah.
fighter. I especially for MMA, the distance that MMA is contested at, I love a southpaw with a good right hook. So I definitely see the offensive potential in Mike Santiago. And it's funny because when I watched Mads Bernal versus Prazeres, I was like, okay, this dude's a boxer. He's got a good left hook of his own. His hands look pretty good. But then you go back, and also he got dominated in the grappling aspect of that fight.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you watch his regional fights. I mean, this dude's a grappler, like a straight grappler, who has really just developed his boxing as his MMA career has progressed. So that was really interesting for me to see. I saw the first round of his fight with Tonasar, his knockout loss in round 2. And he was piecing that dude up. I think he just played with
Yeah.
his food a little bit too much. I didn't see the second round where he actually gets knocked out.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I saw the first round as well, and I was astonished that he lost that fight. You know.
I know, me too. I was watching that like, wait, what? So I'd like to be able to see how that knockout happened, if it was a flat KO or if he got TKO'd or if it was an early stoppage or yada yada. But realistically, like, I mean, he beat all his opponents before Prazeres and that Ott fight, obviously, we just spoke about. So he's good, and I don't disagree with you, Sebs, when you say that you want to avoid this fight because you don't know what's going to take place. I could definitely see Mads Bernal just obliging Santiago in the boxing, just wanting to box with him and getting himself in trouble. But I could also see this fight going to the mat, and maybe Bernal wraps it up, right? So it's going to be a pass for me. It's also interesting that first fight was at 155. I hadn't noticed that, but I mean, regardless, Prazeres is just such a bull.
Oh, he's
fighter.
a monster.
He's so solid. Like, Mads just couldn't do anything with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not really an accurate, assessment of Bernal's skills. So for me, I'll pass. I can't trust Santiago to knock him out, but that's the way I'm leaning.
All right. So next up, we got Dynamite Danielle Taylor taking on JJ Aldridge, and this is another fight that I'm straight up passing on. I think this is gonna be super low significant strike count. Like both girls are gonna 12 strikes per round. I'll give them maybe 14. I'll say they hit nearly 40 strikes in the whole fight. Yeah. This is Danielle Taylor's pretty inactive when she's on the feet, and when she is active, it's right now she's not. How tall is JJ Aldridge compared to her? 5'5". She has a 5-inch reach advantage. All right, she's gonna have to fucking do those leaping hooks that she usually does. She jumps in the air nearly and throws a hook.
Quite small.
Yeah, and she's super tiny even for strawweight, but I think she's pretty athletic, and she's probably the better fighter here as well. She's got more experience, and man, I just couldn't come to grips with picking. I just see JJ Aldridge being if she is not as good as Danielle Taylor, she's pretty close to her. Man, she has the experience. She's fought in Invicta since her debut, so she has big name experience. Danielle Taylor, interesting tidbit, was a former King of the Cage champ, though. It was hard not to pick Taylor, man, but overall it's a pass. I can see this being a fight where I'm sweating my balls off just to see who the fucking if I'm gonna cash or not. With 2 units on Taylor, if I was gonna play it, and I'm just not gonna go there, man. Fuck that shit. So how do you guys feel? How about you, Z?
I think this is just going to be a range, factor of range. Like you said, JJ Aldridge has 5 inches of reach. So with Taylor being so inactive and being kind of stuck on the outside for the majority of her fights, I can see Aldridge just kind of coasting with a pitter-patter decision where she outlands her. Because Danielle Taylor, she's a power puncher at strawweight. That's not, you don't want your power punchers, you know what I mean? That's not a good look. Her Siohi Ham fight, I thought she lost. Marina Moroz is a good example of where someone was just longer and she had no ability to close the gap. So when I was looking at this fight, when I was lining it, I was kind of hoping that Aldridge would be a dog just because of the physicality of Taylor. I thought maybe the public would sway that way. But she's a slight favorite, so I don't really want to. I don't want to play around. I don't want to trust it because I guess Taylor could bully her in the clinch. Taylor could land something big, but yeah, I'm favoring Aldridge. And also like I've seen. I know it was in round 4, but you never want your fighter to quit on the stool. And Daniel Taylor has done that in the past.
Oh, I didn't even know that. We're King of the Cage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was her 5th amateur fight, and I actually watched that fight. And yeah, it's just like it's not really doesn't really matter here because it's a 3-round fight, and I'm sure she's much better than she was.
Yeah, due to retire.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. But like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? She has no lethal ability. She has no ability to close the gap. She doesn't have a great grappling. Nothing like that. So I am leaning with Aldrich, but again, like I just don't want to trust her.
Mm-hmm. I actually, you're right. I think this is a very close fight, and to bet on it is a little risky. Both fighters are the same 4-5. They won the last 4, and with Danielle Taylor having the 5-inch reach disadvantage, it's you're gonna have to see her on the far side, and she's gonna have to really strike first and close distance fast, and how much energy are you gonna have to do that in 3 rounds, 5 minutes. So, we get a little, some difficulties, and Aldridge is very, very good with her hands, and she trains as Rose Namajunas. So I'm sure she's kept pretty busy with someone like that in her camp. She has a really good jab, and she's good at mixing up other combinations in there as well, just in case people think they can counter offer it. So she knows what she's doing. But Danielle Taylor is, constant, bit of a constant rush, and she does close distance nice. I think she has some decent footwork. It'll be interesting. I think so. I think she's
the gap.
Well, she was able to in the split decision that she did fight against Sohee Ham. It was close, but she did tend to land a lot of big left hands over the top, and she was able to kind of sprint in, hit, and then get out without getting hit too much. But again, it was split, so it could have been either way, right?
I thought she lost that fight. To be fair.
So? I think in the early round she landed quite a bit.
And like the judges are ridiculous for giving her 30-27. Like that was pathetic.
And Ham's 5'2".
Yeah,
she was an atom weight.
You got to work. I mean, if you're that small, so a lot of those shots that you do land.
I mean, yeah, I guess she hustles when she needs to get inside, but I just don't see the frequency being there, and I don't see the technical proficiency being there.
I guess the consistency.
Too small. It takes her 2 steps to get inside to the fucking range, man. She's too small.
And since Aldrich is southpaw, that distance is just accentuated, and she can just jab and move the whole fight.
Yeah, literally pick her apart.
She's gonna pick her apart, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see it happening for sure. She cleared the waves on me for sure, betting Danielle Taylor there.
Yeah,
thank God. No, thank goodness I didn't before. But I think we all said our piece here, and next is a fight I'm pretty juiced to talk about. Jung Ho Kang making his return after military service, Mr. Perfect, and Guido Ninja Canetta making his return after USADA. Yeah. But, and man, let's Z, I'll let you start this one off, my man.
I was gonna jump in if you didn't tee me up there.
Yeah.
So Kwan Ho Kang, this is a dude who was in the UFC. How many fights has he got? He's already got 19 fights, right? And that was 4 years ago now, or 3.5 years ago. So he was like 26 with 19 fights. That's a good amount of experience.
Yeah.
His skill set well-rounded. He's trained at Tiger Muay Thai in the past. Striking was looking even better in his most recent fight. His scramble is good. He's physical. He's got cardio to go hard for 3. Now, he does seem to slow down, but I think you got to look at the pace he's setting. His fights are always super active. He's always pushing the pace. So, yeah, he slows down in the 3rd round towards the end of the fight. But if you go over his UFC tenure here, I mean, his UFC debut, he loses a split decision to Alex Caceres. That gets converted to a no contest because I think Caceres was smoking weed. But regardless, very close fight. He had his moments in that fight. And when you look at it, Caceres isn't a world beater. but for your UFC debut, you get
That's
the
a
long
tough
guy.
fight, man. That's
It's a tough fight, and it was split.
The walk in the
I
park.
was actually leaning Kang when I was watching this, so I was like, okay, like he can hold his own. His fight with Chico Camus is straight up daylight Milwaukee robbery. Like that's a robbery.
That was
Straight.
that's fucked. That fight made me sick
30-27
to
for
my
Camus
stomach.
is the worst card I've ever seen. It's the worst.
I think, and I'm pretty sure Adelaide Bird gave a 30-27. I'm not even joking. I think she was on that card. Gave a 30-27 to Chico Camus.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. When I watched that fight, when it concluded, I was like, what? Because I actually didn't look at the record. I just watched the fight just on Fight Pass, and so I'm like, 30-27. I was like, okay, he wins it. What? And then I was like, okay, what did I forget? So I went back and I watched the first round again. There's no way Camus wins that first round. And it was one of those cases where, like, I guess you could argue Camus did more damage, but Kang had blanket control. And I'm usually the one saying that you should reward damage, but it's not comparable. It's like a little bit of damage versus like
the huge blanket control. Yeah.
Huge blanket control.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. But then you find out Camus is from, he trains with Duke Rufus, and this was in Milwaukee, so it's just a straight robbery. Against Shimizu, that was a bum, but he whooped that dude's ass like really bad. So like, okay, I'm not.
Even sorry to jump in, but even that first round when he threw the 12-6.
I know.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that? Stopped. Yeah, how good? I saw your tweet though. How good was Brian Stan saying like, he needs a win just to get a draw here. Yeah,
a win just to get a draw.
What a dumbass.
Well, but that's the problem with the 10-point must system is it confuses even the analysts, even the people on the broadcast. Because like you deduct 2 points. If he wins 3 rounds, he wins it 29-28.
Yeah, exactly.
Or no, what would it be? It would be
28-27. Yeah.
Yeah, see, even I got confused right there.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary. I think they should just give, like, if you win the round 10-9,
but that was
give
just
the winner
1 point. It was just a stupid, like, 2 points taken away. That was just stupid.
So dumb.
Yeah.
And it was like he was whooping his ass, and then he throws one shot. Okay, I guess it was intentional, but even if it's intentional, it's supposed to be 1 point.
Yeah.
And then he whooped the dude's ass anyway. And then against Michinori Tanaka, it's another split. So people are gonna look at that. Oh, he went to split with Tanaka, but honestly, Tanaka's a tough guy to look good against.
I think Tanaka's a fucking monster.
That guy's an all submission dude, and if he doesn't get a submission, he gets a decision.
Yeah, I mean I guess he is underrated, right? Like I faded him his last couple fights because I didn't think he was that good. But just a strong guy, good cardio, tough to look good against. And Kang won the fight, Coming in here against Guido Canetti. Guido Canetti's 38 years old. He popped for 5 banned substances, 2 of which were anabolic agents. So it's not some USADA bullshit. He was just straight doing a stack. He got caught. And when you watch him fight, it's like, oh, of course he does steroids. Like his whole style is dependent upon steroids.
Yeah.
It's strength in the clinch. It's aggression, throwing bombs, and it's just having the cardio to go hard for 3. I think all of that is hampered if he's coming in here clean. In his losses against who's the guy? I'm bringing up his record here to help me out. Enrique Briones, he gets submitted, but he gets rocked bad before that.
Oh my goodness, Briones!
He comes in with his chin like this against Alejandro Perez. Perez knocks him out. Like Perez doesn't knock people out, and it's because he comes in with his chin up. His loss to Beltran was some straight bullshit. Because
that was kind of a robbery.
That was such a robbery. It was because they deducted a point in the first round.
Yeah, when he gave him a kick.
Canetti was giving him an ass whooping and kicked him while he was down.
Yeah.
So like, okay, deduct a point. Beltran gets his win
back.
But
Beltran sucks.
Steals the round. He stole the round right at the end. So it's the point deduction, stealing the round. And then Canetti went on to whoop his ass in the second round anyway. It should have been 2-0 unanimous. But it's some bullshit. So I'll give him that.
Marco's horrible too, and he's a flyweight. So we'll give him that one. Yeah, we'll give him that one. Right.
And then Hugo Viana, I mean, a close fight, really stalling performance where, they just clinched up and Canetti was able to get the better of him. He also did ding him up on the feet, But all that being said, like, let's say they come in just looking like they were when we last saw them. I favor Kang. If Canetti's hampered by USADA, which I fully expect him to be, this is a cakewalk for Kang. I think Kang has him outskilled in every aspect of the game. He's 8 years younger. He's 30 years old. He's coming back from military service, so I expect him to be in relatively good shape. Like, it's not like he was injured and had to rehab anything. It's not like he's USADA victim. None of that. So yeah, I put 3 units on Kyun-Ho Kang when he was minus 259. I think it's a solid spot. There's a little bit too many question marks to really play it. Like, I'm trying to avoid the minus 300 line. I want to play more minus 250 and up, or and better. So I don't know if you want to play it now, but in my opinion, yeah, this is Kang just beats him up on the feet. When Canetti goes for takedowns, Kang out scrambles him. Kang outlasts him with cardio, and just better overall.
Yeah, try not to copy anything that he said, which is impossible, but
yeah, I went long on that.
No, that was a good breakdown though. It was good for the viewers, but Kang also is like a huge bantamweight, especially compared to Canetti. Like, this he's 5'9" or 5'10". Like, this guy's a big bantamweight.
True, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
5'9" to 5'6".
Yeah, like that. Even that, like, you're gonna see a big advantage. And this guy, like Kang, once he's on top of you, and he actually, I love blanket control, man. That's my favorite thing in the world. It doesn't always work. Like with Murad, I got robbed.
Yeah.
Yes,
but I get it, because
usually
when you have money on the line, when you have money on the line, you're like, yes, just
you better fucking stay there. And that's what I'm hoping for with Kang for a little bit. But I think you saw the plagues Guido here, and I think and he gasses it. I'm gonna say after the first round he's gonna gas hard,
because his style is very taxing.
Yeah, so, and with no steroids, I'm not even like trying to play around. With no steroids, this guy's gonna be in trouble, man. Yeah. He's gonna be in trouble. So exactly like you're saying, his pressure, the way he's in the clinch. I don't even give a fuck if we lose the first round. I don't care if I lose the first round with Kang here. I think Kang, the way he's gonna use the pressure on Guido is just something nasty. And I think he's gonna be able to lock up a submission, man. I think Guido's gonna have his neck or something. He's gonna go for a shitty takedown when he's in trouble after getting pieced up. Because let's not forget, this guy, like you said, comes from Tiger Muay Thai, and Kang's dangerous on the feet, man. He's got some nasty Muay Thai. He's got some scary Muay Thai, but he's very dangerous on the floor.
And this is the case too, where you get a guy who's experienced, who stepped out of the game at 26 to step back in the game. Like, I'm sure he's made improvements. I'm sure he's gotten hungrier. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a good look, man.
I think so too. And for that reason, I went and I threw 4 units on Kyun-Ho Kang here, and I got him at minus 253 to win 1.58 units. Got him at the opener there. I fucking was being a lurcher right there, a nice vulture. But I got him at the opener at minus 253. I thought that was a good line on him because he opened at minus 300 on the best fight odds. So that's what I thought he was. I thought he was gonna. I knew we were gonna get a better line on Pinnacle. By the way, if you have access to Pinnacle, everybody, I don't get sponsored by them or anything, but like, go get a Pinnacle account. I'm not even like fucking around. Without a doubt, the best lines. We get the best openers. I think Z can knows to our advantage. Like, waiting an hour is like so much worth it because we'll get like a 10-point like plus like. It's just like if you're not on Pinnacle already, just go and get it. It's just something for my viewers to know.
You pretty much got to be a Canuck, though. You got to be Canadian, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Many spots. That's
thing. You got to be a Canadian. So exactly, that's the best part about it. If you're a Canadian, and I love that we don't pay taxes and shit on this stuff.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But the other thing about Pinnacle is if you follow them on Twitter, they actually post like really good articles,
like strategies and stuff.
Exactly, how to make you better.
Yeah. Oh, they're awesome, man. I love Pinnacle. I think they're one of the best books out there. But I went and I got 253 on him, which was incredible. Got my boy Lock of the Night to go open up a Pinnacle account on the spot when he saw me. When he saw me lock up 253 and he saw you lock up, what did you lock up, 259?
I got 259.
Yeah, he saw us lock up under 260 for Kang. He said no way. He went in. He locked him up at 265, I believe. So I think Kang dominates in every spot here, and I believe he gets a submission here. I'm going to be I'm with him pretty hard. I got 4 units on him, and it's probably my second most confident pick of the night.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Geb? What do you think?
I agree. Kang's definitely going to take it. I don't see Guido Canetti with a lot of stuff that Kang hasn't already seen. He can be a little scrappy, and he tends to swing a lot in those early rounds. In the Latin America tough season, he got to, I believe, the semifinals, but same time, I mean, he'll go Vienna as his last fight in 2015. Obviously, both guys coming back from a long hiatus. I think Guido's is a little bit different because of the drug problem and already being flagged. So kind of a red target on his back. I don't really see much of a fear in what he has. I mean, maybe he could be really tough, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, what does he threaten with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, unless Hugo Viana has a really good day and he's really pushing and he gets a lot of cool stuff, then maybe. But even then, I think, I mean, with the split decision over Tanaka, not again a more impressive fighter, I believe, than Guido Canetti. A triangle before that in I believe 2013 or 14. So Kang's pretty equipped for whatever this guy can come with. He's already got a perfect ground game. So I mean, what else are you gonna come at him with? It's gonna be different for him, right?
Yeah, he's got the conditioning. He's got the skills everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So I don't think it'll be that tough a decision. I say Kang all the way. This guy's killing it. And hopefully I'd like to see a next fight out of him. So, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully rather quickly, as we haven't seen him in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his name is sorry, I just got lost on Jungle Kang completely here, but Jungle Kang, fucking his name Mr. Perfect, isn't it? Like who's it named after? It's like a super sick kickboxer. It was a Morello not Bustamante. But I know he's giving he's giving respects to a kickboxer, a super good kickboxer. I should know exactly who, but fuck, I'll get that for you later in the show when these guys are talking. But next up, let's go with Irene Aldana.
Ernesto Hoost.
That's what it is. Bro, I was going to go crazy.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, Ernesto Hoost.
Ernesto Hoost was Mr. Perfect as well. Yeah, so Ernesto Hoost was Mr. Perfect, and he's giving tribute to that. So I think that's pretty cool. The guy knows his shit. So I'm rooting for Jungle Kong even without 4 units on him. If I didn't have the 4 units, I'd be pulling for him to win. But next up, we got Irene Aldana taking on Toledo Bernardo, and fucking Toledo just didn't show me anything in the fight against Renault. I was blown away at what does this girl have? She's a little bit thick for the division. She's like a chubby girl for bantamweight. But she didn't have the best wrestling. She didn't have the best striking. Then again, she was going against Miriam Renault just beat her ass from what I remember. And then she actually finished her with a few seconds left in the 3rd round. And then Irene Aldana is coming in, and she was actually a lot of hype was behind her when she made her debut against Leslie Smith. I picked her in that fight against Leslie Smith, and she didn't pull through. She's supposed to have a super intelligent boxing background. She comes from Lobos, which is the same gym as Alexa Grasso and other strawweight strawweight that's coming up in the uprise of in the Mexican, like everyone in Mexico is starting to know who these two girls are, man. They're starting to pull it together. Well, not Irene Aldana, but at least Alexa Grasso. And Irene Aldana was supposed to be like that second pushing of Alexa Grasso. They trained together and everything. So I don't know. I think her boxing, she's 0-2 in the UFC, but I think her boxing is going to come together pretty soon. She looks good, and she looked good when she was fighting in Invicta. Um, I think she's gonna. This is where she gets her win here. I think she boxes up to Lita, and she gets a W here, man. Not much else. I say didn't take much of that fight, as you guys can tell, but fucking yeah, that's what I think. I think she boxes her up pretty well and does damage and gets the 3-round decision. How about you, Gib?
Well, again, Toledo Bernardo been on the low side in terms of to the footage, but she does have quite a bit of a submission history. She doesn't really have any knockouts. She doesn't seem like that type of fighter to really pull it out. But obviously in the UFC, you kind of have to. You have to have these weapons. So, I mean, I'm starting with Irene Aldana. She's Mexican. That you're automatically tough. I don't care who you are. I mean, you come from such a different side of the tracks, rough gym, like you said already. She's trained with high level people. You know, she gets KOs. She gets submissions. She does tend to lose her last 2 fights. So she obviously wants to win. And Toledo has lost by knockout punches. So obviously she seems to struggle with people who have a really good stand up and have lots of punches. A bunch is probably coming for her. So I'm going with Irene on this one. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that much of a pick. This girl's quite new. Unless she locks up a quick submission or something, I don't really see her winning or anything like this.
Yeah, I just think Irene has more skills. Just just quickly backfire before his goes. This is a fight I'm potentially looking at to bet. Actually, I do like Irene Aldana a lot from the footage I saw in Invicta. Hasn't looked good as of lately. I have to look at more Bernardo tape, but this is potentially a bet, man, in the making. I think this is all set up for Irene to win. But how about you, Z? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines as you, but I'll tell you, Toledo took that Renault fight on a legit week notice. So like, don't
That's
put a
why
lot
she
of
looked
stock into
that
that.
bad. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
it makes sense, right? And
Yeah.
this chick, she's got an okay double leg, and her mount is sick. Like it's a very heavy mount. She's a black belt jiu-jitsu. Like she's no joke. Don't judge her off that first fight. With Irene Aldana, she does have the striking, but one thing I noticed with her is it's like she keeps her hands up and she moves her head, but she keeps doing that like
Yeah.
dip left, dip right, dip
Yeah.
left. It's like the X just keeps doing it. She likes to fight pretty. She likes to keep distance, and if people will give her that space, she can get off on some good strikes. She does have some okay power, but a lot of her Invicta wins were against I mean, come on, you know what I mean? Like, look,
Yeah, they weren't the best competition. She just looked
they were
good doing
showcase
it.
fights.
Leslie
Yeah.
Smith.
They were showcase fights. Now, in her most recent fight versus Chukagian, I thought she actually won, but Chukagian was able to kind of just out-volume her and do the dominant
Yeah.
cruise where you stay far enough away and you just move enough to make the judges think that you're doing something when you're really
Yeah.
not. So that's a bit of a smoke screen. It's not really a good indication. But regardless, Toledo's not going to do that. So it's kind of irrelevant here. With Leslie Smith and Larissa Pacheco, her losses to those two girls, they zombied her. They just walked forward and threw bombs and just ate what she gave her, what she gave them. And they were tough enough to just kind of push in and crowd her. And that gives her a lot of trouble, because she wants her space. But I'll give it up to her. Like, when I rewatched the Leslie Smith fight, I was going in thinking it was an ass whooping. And realistically, I mean, she got tagged hard in the first round, but when Leslie jumped on her, she immediately built the house, got up, and came back to win the second round, make it close. Won the second or third round, I forget which one. But regardless, made it an actually competitive fight. And then with Tonya Evinger, she got slobbed on. Like Tonya just is this a slob, like the blob, just like grabs you, take you down, beat you up, and that's kind of what Toledo can do. But I will give it up to Irene Aldana because she made it to the 4th round of that type of fight, and even when they stopped it, she was still moving her head. She was still trying to win. Same as the Pacheco fight. Pacheco just hit her real hard and she went down, but she was getting beat up in that fight and she hung in there. Like, she's very tough.
Yeah, she's tough.
My problem with trusting her at minus 200 here is I don't know how much better Toledo is going to look coming in with a full camp. And if Toledo gets on top of her, she wins. Like, she's legit. She's heavy, man. She's got heavy.
Like you're saying this girl's that nasty on top?
She's pretty good. Toledo's pretty good.
With the combination of Toledo's top game and Irene Aldana's lack of bottom game, like she's okay, but it's not the same level in my opinion. And I don't know how much better Toledo's going to look, And because it's that style clash where it's like, okay, if it stays on the feet, sure, Irene's going to look good, but if it goes to the ground, I don't think that's a good look. She loses the round or she gets submitted or TKO'd. Like, it's a serious bet. What I will say is if she ends up in guard, Toledo's not very proactive at passing the guard. Like, she'll stay in guard longer than I think she should. But if she gets to mount, it's nasty. So just watch out for that. But for me, I'm passing. I'll lean slightly with Aldana, but I'm passing. I don't have any desire to touch this fight.
All right. And Gib, did you go yet or no?
Yeah. I got Irene for this.
All right. So next up is the main card to the Fight Pass prelims, the main event at least. Faria taking on Jessica Evil Eye, and not much I can say. Jessica Eye is 1-5 in her last 6 fights. Like, she's horrible. Gibbs telling me she's in need of a win. Like, she deserves a winner. So what did you say?
It's coming.
What can I say? I'm a fan.
Times. It's been red 5 times. It's going to be black this time.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think our girl Angelina McGon gave out this one.
She's
due. Yeah. It was
due for a win.
I'm due for a win. You know what I mean? And I think you can put this quote on Jessica Eye right now because she's probably putting in 2-a-days and hasn't gotten the W. I think Jessica Eye's a fucking killer. I mean, she has some tough fights. She gets her ass kicked. She gets absolutely destroyed. I gotta agree with what happens. But I think you see some fire in her eyes, man. She's got the eye of the tiger. She fights, man. I like the Miesha Tate fight. I'm a fan of the way she fights.
She did crack her a couple times in that fight.
Oh yeah, I liked her Betch fight, even though she gets beaten up in that fight too. I think Betch clobbers her, but I think a standing choke was a really big win for her back when she was back before she got into the UFC. So again, great replay there, but I mean it's hard to recapture fire like that. Especially against Faria. So she's a beast. I mean, this girl fought Claudia Gadelia early in the career, and she fought Kalina before the UFC jump, which I think is a really impressive fight too. So
that was an impressive fight.
Yeah, and she's 3-5. So if you want to bet, absolutely bet for Kalinja Faria all day. But me personally, I got to take on this one as a fan.
Okay, so at least you're saying it's like because you're a fanboy, but
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
You copped out at the end, exactly. But yeah, man, Jessica, did she even lose? I'm checking right now. Did she lose that fight against? No, she won, right? And it got turned into a no contest against Sarah Kaufman. Because she was smoking weed or something.
Oh, really? Saved by that?
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think she won that fight. So she's actually.
She did win split.
Yeah, she won a split. So.
She won a green decision.
Yeah. So and then she smoked weed or something, got caught, and so they took that win away from her. And then her only other win is a TKO to Leslie Smith with her cauliflower ear exploder.
Yeah.
So other than that, she's been beat by Juliana Lima. Um, who or was it Pena? I don't even remember.
Yo, you had it right.
It's one of the Julianas. I know that. And
Yeah, it was Pena.
yeah, it's Pena. She gave her a beat down, and then Betch Carrera beat her up a little bit. Misha Tate showed her what's good. Alexis Davis showed her what's good. Like this girl has she's just a fade, man, and it's like you kept saying, or like Z was saying, like 5 times black, it has to be red one time. Well, I'm gonna fade her until like she's fucking black, brother. I'm fading her until she hits black. Like, that's how this shit works over here. You guys already know that, but I think Faria she comes from that shootbox style like Cyborg too. So that's scary, man. This girl's a dangerous striker when when she's pressuring forward. She's dangerous, Kalinja Faria, and she doesn't show up, but she's good on the ground. She doesn't have the best bottom game, but she's got a great top game when she gets into a situation that she likes. She doesn't pass the guard as well as I would like her to. Standing up though, this girl's trouble. She's gonna give a lot of trouble to Jessica Ai, man. Standing up, she's gonna be pressing forward all the time, giving her a combination. Jessica Ai's not gonna like that. She likes her distance and everything, maintaining distance, and she's just gonna get pressed into the cage and like bombs away. And I think Kalindra Faria is gonna come away, like if she doesn't come away with a decision, she comes away with a late TKO. And I like her a lot for this fight. I took her in her first fight against Mara Romero Barella, and hopefully, we get a nice rebound fight here for her. So I took 3.54 units on Faria at minus 118 to win 3 units, and pretty confident in that. Z?
Yeah. I mean, this is a much better spot than Irene Aldana, I think.
Yeah.
But Faria is good everywhere. Like, she's okay everywhere, I'll say. Not the best range striking, but like you said, it's that Muay Thai, shootbox style. Good guard. Good overhand right, which is definitely something that Ai is susceptible to because when she strikes, Ai is so weird. Like, she looks like she's good. Like, when she's moving around and stuff, it's like, okay, this looks like a well-trained fighter. As soon as she throws, and she throws punches all right, but her head comes up, like, way up every time. It's like, you can't.
It's a lighthouse.
Almost like you can't train it out of her. What's that?
She gets
the lighthouse.
It's a lighthouse. Yeah, exactly.
It's just standing with a big light on the head. Okay, hit me here.
Yeah. But what I will say is, I mean, she was winning the Tate fight until she got cracked hard with the big right hand. So that showed its face there. Against Pena, it was a competitive fight. You gotta give her that, and she got a point deducted. For kneeing her in the head from the bottom.
I thought she got brutalized in that fight. Fuck her.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Pena took it to her in that fight. I didn't think it should have been was it a split?
No, it was 20. It was what was it? It was 29-27 because of the point deduction.
Because of the point deduction. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
But I actually don't think Pena's that good. I think Pena's pretty overrated.
Yeah, no, she's overrated for sure.
Just the fact she had a competitive fight there, okay. Against Sarah McMahon, it was just super inactive. And same with Betch, like pretty inactive. Not a lot of stuff happens. So when a fighter can fight that close, I don't know. I didn't see the world beater level from Kalindra Farah that I'd like to see when fading. I know you don't need to be a world beater, but I just think that this could play out close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to flip the coin, but I definitely lean with Kalindra. Yeah, probably a decision via outlanding her and just having the better spots.
I think so as well, and I think she gets it done just with the pressure too. I think her shootbox style wears down on Jessica Ai and potentially finishes her if not goes to decision, and just outstrikes her the whole way. But next up we got, and I'm gonna let my boy Z take this one because we both got bets on this. Thiago Alves versus Zach Cummings. This is a fight I'm juiced to talk about, but Z, let's hear it from you.
I'm stoked, man. I'll try to save some points for you, I guess.
But, yeah.
All right, first off, let's talk about Thiago Alves' perception from the fans, because everyone seems to think that he's a USADA victim in a big way, and that his style has changed, and that he used to be this super explosive berserker. I've heard, I go back and I watch his fights. Yeah, he's yoked. Yeah, he's probably on some steroids, but throughout his career, he fights the exact same way.
Yeah, go watch his fight against GSP and watch how far smart he fought.
Yeah, he just, the majority of the time he's in the octagon, you know what he's going to do, and he's going to be doing the right things. He's an extremely well-trained fighter, hands up, eyes open, good basic technical Muay Thai, sharpened to a fine point. And it's consistent. Like, even, let's go through his record real quick here, but even in his losses, he's usually hurting the guy he loses to. Jim Miller, everyone says he got just dominated, out-wrestled by a 55er. Okay, first off, he had to cut to 160, right? He tried to cut to 155. He cut to 160, and then they limited his rehydration to 170. So, like, he was in the cage, what he's going to be on the scale. You know what I mean? So right away, that fight, there's a grain of salt. And regardless, he did more damage in that fight. 100% he did more damage. He had Miller hurt. Miller squeaked by with that decision by opportunistic, well-timed takedowns. Okay, good for you. His loss to Condit, he was finding his range at the end of that first round, and then he gets blasted with an elbow that murks his nose, puts his nose up into his forehead.
That would have took out anybody.
And he still fights. What's that?
That would have took out anybody.
Exactly.
Just the elbow like that.
Many fighters quit there. Thiago never quit. He made it to the stool, and then the doctor called the fight.
Yeah.
He was having some trouble with Jordan Meehan, and I will say Jordan Meehan is probably the only guy to have sustained success versus Alves on the feet. You know what I mean? Like, Condit had success, but it wasn't sustained. It was one big shot that turned the tide, right?
And then Alves turned it around, though.
Exactly. Alves landed that nasty body kick.
What a body kick.
I know people think his kick is only a chop because that's where he uses it most, but he can kick to the head, he can kick to the body. It's all good. He boxed up Sebs Pazinski. Martin Kampmann, everyone says he's just a bed shitter for this. He was winning the fight. He was outboxing the Danish kickboxing champion, and then he went for an ill-advised takedown at the end of the fight, probably trying to just secure the last little bit of it, dove into a guillotine. And it was funny because it was as if he went to fake the sprawl. Like, he wanted to get Kampmann to sprawl, and then he would come out of it. But then Kampmann went with it, so then Alves went with it. It was it was just very weird. I thought he was kind of just faking them to open up the strikes, but then committed to it when Kampmann didn't sprawl. You know what I mean? Against Rick Story. Now, this was the fight that I really wanted to rewatch because this is Rick Story's a southpaw. He's a wrestler. Very similar style to Zach Cummings. But what Rick Story did in that fight, his coaches fucking programmed him. One thing, push to the cage. He basically nullified the fight, and good for him. He got one of the biggest wins of his career, but he got hurt on the feet. Alves can strike versus southpaws, but Rick Story in this case was just bullish enough and well-trained and smart enough to just push Thiago to the cage. So he got out-muscled there. Okay, it's all good. Fitch, great grappler. GSP, the GOAT. And now we're talking about ancient history, right? So all of those wins, all those losses, rather, he's doing more damage on the feet. And consistently throughout his career and inside the octagon, he has amazing tendencies. I'll say it again, hands up, eyes open. That's why he could counter Patrick Cote with a nasty left hook drop in the first round. That's why he countered him with an amazing, he's backed up to the fence and then he slips and throws the right hand. It's because he's looking. He's so well-trained. He's so veteran. He's so comfortable in these exchanges that he sees the openings and he's sharp enough with his weapons to capitalize. When you talk about Zach Cummings, I'll talk about what he's good at. He's very tough. He's very big and well built for the weight class. He throws a nice straight left hand. He's, like I said, extremely durable, good wrestling, strong, but he plods towards guys. He doesn't have the footwork like Alves. And that's the last point, like another point I'm going to make about Alves is, if anything, his lighter frame has enabled him to use this subtle footwork that's so good. So he doesn't have footwork like Dominic Cruz where he's running around and making these big steps. But what he's doing is always having these subtle shifts, always giving you looks, always moving his feet. It's really fun to watch. And that's what I think is going to give him the better spots versus a guy in Zach Cummings who plods towards you. Now, he keeps his center of gravity low, which is good in some cases, but it doesn't make him mobile. So Alves is going to be the much more mobile fighter. And as Zach comes in, it's southpaw versus orthodox, but Thiago is going to be the one getting the angle for the cross. Thiago's the one who has his eyes open and can spot the hook counters when Zach Cummings does what Jessica I does when he strikes. He throws straight, but his chin comes up and his hands come down and his eyes closed. Like he throws with his eyes closed. That's why people counter him. That's why Santiago Ponzinibbio boxed him up. And Santiago's training with Alves. Not only is Santiago training with Alves, but Nathan Choi is training with Alves. Two guys who fought Zach Cummings recently. So he's getting great looks in the gym. He knows what to expect. He's taking this fight seriously. And if you think that Zach Cummings is going to use the same game plan that Rick Story did, if that's what you're saying, he's never done that. Not only has he never done that in a fight, pre this fight, he's saying, oh, I think I can beat him everywhere. I think I'm going to hurt him on the feet, and then he's going to shoot on me, and I'll submit him. So Zach Cummings, one, is not going for takedowns in his fights. He's not pressing guys up against the cage. He's looking to strike. He's a gritty guy. He likes to strike. But Thiago will have the better spots as he plods towards him. And then Thiago will be able to evade, being lighter on his feet, being more technical. And when that happens, Zach's going to get frustrated, and Zach's going to try to charge in wildly. And that's where he runs into a buzzsaw the same way Patrick Cote did. It's not like Alves needs the chop. Everyone says, like, oh, his leg kick's gone in this fight. Okay, that's fine. He's got much better hands. He's faster. He's better. There's going to be openings for him because Zach has defensive flaws. He's trains with the guys who fought Zach recently. And people are writing Thiago Alves off because he's not as jacked anymore. But if you go back and watch his career, jacked or not jacked, he's an extremely technical, well-trained fighter who fights consistently throughout his career. I know exactly what I'm getting. In my opinion, I lined this fight minus 170. So I was like, fuck, the bookie's going to open him around minus 170, minus 150. Hopefully the public gets me close to even money. He opens at plus 175. This is madness. You know what I mean? I think it's madness. But like I said, I lined him at minus 170. He's not a minus 300 in my eyes. He's a minus 170. He's got about a 60% chance to win this fight. I favor him. I solidly favor him in the matchup. But if Zach gets on top of him, he's probably going to win the round. Zach could snipe the left cross as Thiago just shells. You know what I mean? So there are openings for Zach. I do understand the angle for Zach, but I think people are just way off in their breakdowns of this fight. Another point I heard someone make or I read was that Thiago might have trouble cutting weight. Man, Thiago made 160 2 fights ago, so he's walking around at a much lighter frame. The weight cut's not an issue for him anymore. It is an issue for Zach Cummings, who also said that he got bigger than he normally does in between his last fight and this fight. So he's the one who has to cut a lot of weight. He's the one who's potential to miss weight or to come in and have his conditioning hampered. I really do like the bet on Thiago Alves here. I put 2 units at plus 175 to win 3.5. Let's go Pitbull.
Yeah, that's a big bet right there. I wish I waited a little bit because I saw him get even to plus 180. Yeah, and I took the shot on him as well. 3 units at plus 170 to win 5.1 units. Like you're saying, man, let's go Pitbull. He's just the better striker overall, man. And I think this fight's gonna take place standing up. I don't think Zach Cummings is gonna, like everyone says he's the better wrestler, but I don't think he's gonna shoot on him and take him down. I haven't seen him wrestle in years. And when
Alves doesn't get held down. He gets up. Like he always is getting up. Like he's good.
You know? Oh, he has a great get-up game, man. He knows what he's doing. And especially like the biggest point I wanted to make is a point that Z made is like the footwork in this fight. I guarantee you is going to be the difference maker. I guarantee it. Watch how much that makes the difference. Just because it's an orthodox, it's orthodox for southpaw. You're going to see him throw a body kick. That body kick's going to be open, and he's going to dance. He's going to dance around him. He's just going to rock him with punches and kicks to the body, man.
He's gonna angle off to his left. He's gonna throw an outside low kick, right hand down the pipe. He's going to be able to hit the left hook over the lazy lead hand of Zach. He's got the body kick open. He's got the head kick open. Ponzinibbio, a boxer, landed a head kick on Cummings. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and, Alves throws hard fucking kicks. Don't be surprised if Zach Cummings does take his first TKO loss in this fight. I don't know if it's his first, but it's first in the UFC for sure.
Yeah, man. Like, I know, like, on the floor, if it gets to the floor and Zach's on top, okay, we're probably in trouble at that point.
Yeah.
But other than that, everywhere else, like I don't see him getting to that spot though. That's the thing.
I don't see him being smart enough to use that game plan.
Yeah. Like, I think he's gonna stand up with him. I think he is. Yeah. And if he stands up with him, I'm giving Alves way better shot to win this fight. Imagine this is a kickboxing match, Alves would light him up. So I'm thinking Alves all day. It's just the smarter money's on him, man. And just like you said, I thought he was going to open at minus 150, minus 170 around there. The guy opens at plus 170. The fucking disrespect. I love
disrespect.
You. I love you, Nick. Nick Kalekis. I love you, brother. Eh? Thank you. You're the best odds maker in the world. But you fucked up with this one. Thanks for giving me the odds, though, brother. Hopefully he comes through. But man, I think Alves has this all day, and I put 3 units on him to win 5.1, and let's go Pitbull, exactly.
People saying that they're not impressed by Cote, like beating Cote. Who has Zach beaten? Like, he beat Nathan Choi, Alexander Yakovlev. His win versus Dalby was
Dalby was the only guy he beat. It was I think generally on the top list, because I think he had a Darren Till fight, right? It was pretty close.
No, Dalby did, yeah.
Dalby. But he beat Dalby. He beat Dalby. Did he? Oh, did he break his arm? Okay.
No, wait. Sorry. Till and Dalby fought, and Till whooped his ass, but then broke his arm and survived the third round, but lost to 10-8. Right. So they gave it a draw. But that fight, but with actually Zach Cummings' fight with Dalby, one shot that he landed really nicely was a lead right uppercut, but Dalby was standing southpaw when that happened, so it was able to come up through the guard, right? But I will say Dalby does shell the same way Thiago does, but he's definitely not as sharp, and his kicks don't have as much pop on them or as much power.
Yeah, Zach was able to actually check the kick in that fight, I believe, against Dalby.
Yeah,
he checked him and put him on the floor.
He checks kicks. I don't want Alves to throw leg kicks in this fight, but I think his hands are better. I
think that's what I like about him.
Yeah, I think so too. So, Gib, anything else you want to say?
Sorry, Gib, I cut you off. Do your thing, man.
Oh, no worries. Well, I mean, we'd already said a lot. I like Zach Cummings. I like his submission game. But like you said about Thiago, man, that guy has tons of weapons at you. And, he knows how to use them. He's going to angle off to the side. And a lot of these kicks aren't going to be easy to check. Obviously, he's got to kind of find a way to fit him in and look for his money makers and really follow those. But I think Zach Cummings, like you guys said, when he drops into the floor and he can get a little bit of ground control on him, he can keep Alves, somewhat on the ground and really stable. And if Thiago does get back up, he's hopefully wasted enough time on the clock to continue to pressure, continue to maybe make Thiago Alvarez make a little more faster decisions and keep pressuring in order to make him make more and possibly, look to lock up a submission over that or even a takedown or something to at least win you on the rounds by points. Or set up some big knockout, but I don't think that happens because if he stands at Thiago, it's not good. It's not gonna be a good day for him. But I can see him winning off of takedowns in a decision and just kind of making Alves drop down and get back up constantly because I find when guys have to readjust after being on the floor and then coming back up, it takes a bit of time away and they tend to struggle to land again and again. Until the next takedown, and then the process repeats, right? So I like Zach Cummings in this fight if he keeps the pressure and just keeps the takedowns coming. But again, Thiago's got the weaponry, so if this guy comes in a little uneducated, he's going to get hit for sure.
Yeah, my thing with that is like that's true. Like that's a very good read, but I don't think Zach's going to do that. Like I don't, and especially when Thiago touches him. And then Zach wants to get it back. I think that's going to be his downfall because Zach's a tough guy and he wants to fight, So I think he's going to get touched up and then he's going to want to get it back. And he's going to run into a buzzsaw, because it's just his defensive flaws.
I agree 100%, guys. And you know what I agree with is our next fight.
keep her moving, eh?
Yeah, you already know I have to keep it running. But our next fight's Matt for Steamroller Frevola versus Polo Reyes, and I got to talk about this one, bro. I've been itching to talk about this one.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your take because it's not one I looked into very much.
Okay, so basically, El Toro over here, fucking Polo Reyes. He's solid, man. But his last loss coming to James Vick, got knocked out with James Vick. No harm, no foul, whatever. That's James Vick. Still took a knockout loss, but if you look back, man, he's super chinny, which is already a no in this fight. He gets rocked a lot. With his fight against Dong Young Kim, he got rocked all kinds. The split against Jason Novelli, you could say he might have lost that fight even, and then his knockout of Cesar Miranda is like okay, that was where what like that was like everyone has to take gets caught sometimes, so I didn't put much stock into that, but whatever. The Dong Yang Kim fight was a pleasure to tape, but it shows me this guy has from watching all of his film, he has zero wrestling. He has no wrestling, man. He doesn't even threaten with a takedown, nor does he threaten with even like shedding off a takedown. He's easily taken down with no takedown defense, and once he's taken down, he doesn't have like a great guard game or any really bottom game to get himself back up. He just waits for the ref to stand him back up. Standing up, he's a decent boxer. He's comes from that Mexican background, and I believe he's trained at Alliance with Dominic Cruz and all those guys, and Eric Del Fiero, and so he is getting good looks. But coming in against a guy like Matt Frevola, who just hits as hard as Matt Frevola. Frevola is another Gaethje, man. As with his pressure, he doesn't swing bombs like Gaethje, but he's got some power in his hands, and you guys are gonna see that Sunday night. Frevola has some serious power in his hand, and he's got some great grappling. He's a purple belt in Sarah BJJ Jiu Jitsu or Sarah Longo, whatever it is, and I think if he gets the first of all, if he gets a takedown here, he's money. He's solid with the takedown. He'll be good with top game there. I don't think El Toro will be able to do anything, and I think Frevola will be able to lock up a submission. Standing up, this guy's not going to be able to take one of Frivola's punches easily. He can't take them. There's no way. He's the hardest puncher he's ever faced, 100%. So already that is against a chinny guy, man. I'm not liking that. And Frevola is just a guy that's up and coming that I've been looking forward to seeing his first fight in the UFC since the Tuesday Night Contenders series, where he did show a lot of he showed it was like a Pandora's box, kind of like everything that he's capable of doing.
He had a beard, right? Did he have a beard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I remember him. Yeah. He was impressive. He stormed the guy.
Yeah, stormed him, drops him, and then he ends up choking him out. So it shows everything he can do in that fight. That great fighter, man. Really nice guy too. I interviewed him before as well, and I just think when it comes down to it, when we're picking fights here, if one guy is better in all aspects of MMA and everywhere it goes from the bottom to the top, standing up to the ground, you got to choose that guy 100%. And especially if there's the value of like minus 193, not even in the minus 200 range. I thought he was going to be minus 250. And I got him at minus 193. So I put 5 units on Matt Frevola, man. I'm very, very stoked about this. Minus 193 to win 2.59 units, and that's my most confident pick of the night, man. I think Frevola destroys Reyes. I think he steamrolls him. So
I'm gonna have to look into that more because that makes a lot of sense. Even just going over their stats a little bit more, like Reyes is 33, and the way he fights is not not well suited for an old fighter.
Yeah.
Sorry. That reminds me of one thing. Like when guys fight very bullish and very just like war style, like they don't have longevity. But guys who are technical, they're the ones who last. The guys like Overeem, the guys like Alves, in my opinion, well trained technical guys. So Reyes is going to be the opposite of that. I think he's more he likes the firefight.
Like you said, he's 33 and he likes the firefight. That's not good, man.
Yeah, it's not good. And this Matt kid's 27. He's got an 8-0 amateur record too.
Yeah.
In which, he had a lot of finishes there too. Some people don't like to count the amateurs, but I mean,
I
in my
do.
opinion, it's experience, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
It's
do.
the same as the regional scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to count amateurs, you shouldn't count the regional scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, realistically, he's 14-0, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look into that more. Like I said, I didn't really look at it. I did watch.
I'm
his
telling
fight
you,
versus,
Z, if you
Floyd.
watch that one and then watch his fight, do you know who Raush Manfio is?
I see him on his resume here, or his
Yeah,
record.
he's the current lightweight champion who beat Chaz Walton at Titan FC. This kid's a beast. He's a beast. He beat
that dude stormed Chaz Walton. I had a bet on Chaz that fight.
Yeah,
that was no
and
bueno.
that was the guy who beat Chaz Walton. And
Matt
Frevola
he did, yeah. This guy's a bad man.
Frevola showed him what's up, man. Frevola,
Really? Okay.
yeah. You got to.
He's not even in the UFC yet. But he's on from ATT, so you know he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10-2 from ATT. Yeah, that's legit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it, man. I might follow you on that bet, actually.
Yeah, hey man, no harm if you do. Obviously, want you there on the Frevola bandwagon. I think it's gonna be serious. I think this guy's gonna make serious impacts in the UFC, man. You're gonna see the way he fights. He fights to win fights, and I love it. He's entertaining and everything, but with the pressuring style he fights at, it's gonna give him points every round. He's unless you're knocking him out, he's not losing a round because his wrestling's better than you. His wrestling's better than yours, especially here. There's no wrestling for him to be worried about, and he's pressing forward the whole time. He's got a good chin. The kid's an animal. He's gonna be. I think he's money here.
27-2, entering his prime.
Yeah,
from a well-established camp, you know.
Yeah,
and the thing about the Contender Series that I like is a lot of the time, like I know it's different, but at least they've got their toe in the water, so to speak.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
They kind of broke the ice.
Yeah, they know what it's like. They know what because the competition they're facing is like sometimes it's even better. The competition they face in the Contender Series is better than what their first fight is in the UFC.
For sure.
It's a pressure cooker. Because you got guys going in there trying to get a contract. You got Dana White right there. Like it's I do like it. It's like tough. They just removed all the bullshit, you know.
Yeah, and I remember asking him about that. I remember asking him about like how was it fighting in that atmosphere, and he said he loves it, man. This guy's a guy who does not relish and like he's like stone cold stoic. Like he reminds me of like Stipe Miocic. Like when I talk to him,
doesn't get to him.
Nothing gets to him, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing gets to him. He's just like stoic. And like even me asking him like is it sick to like you got your contract? He was like, yeah, like he wasn't like super excited, but he was just like, and then he was like, yeah, I knew I was gonna get it. Like I was the main event on like the card and stuff. He was like, I knew I should have got it. He's like, all I had to do is put in the performance, and he's like, he's very not like. I wouldn't say he's cocky about himself. Yeah, he is, and he's just like he'll be like, yo, I'm gonna knock the guy out. Straight up, I just know I'm gonna knock him out. It's just like not breaking or anything. He just knows what he's gonna come and do. He's doing business, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Gib? What do you think, man?
Oh, this guy's. I wish I was on an interview with you, man. But this guy's good. He knows what he's doing. Great submission guy. He can get the KO if he wants to. He can get a decision. Proves he's got weapons. He's smart. He can get the decision with guys who are high level as well. Like guys like Raush Manifo, like you guys are saying, that guy's tough business. And going back to the technique and everything, Reyes, it's good to have heart and toughness. And I think that when a lot of things are failing, you need that to bring your game just a little farther, because it keeps you in the ring, keeps you shrugging off punches that should be knocking you out. But I mean, how long can you do it for? And this guy's 33. Every time you get hit by big bombs like that, you're shortening your career, and you're in there to secure a victory the best way possible, the most efficient. And if you're going into fights getting grinded out, it's not good for you. And if you're going to have to fight guys like Matt Frevola, and even if you do win, you're just going to have to fight the next beast in line. And chances are it's going to be someone who's throwing more cement at you. I think Frevola has showed a lot already. And Marco Reyes, yeah, he's super tough, and I got to give it to James Vick for KOing him as well. That guy's a beast too. He's 12-1, man. But I don't see him beating Matt Frevola because it's Frevola's big event. Obviously, he wants it, and he's coming to kill. And if Marco wants to stand with him and deal with that, it's actually at his loss. He's got to try to find a way to grind at least a good late. I would say a good late decision, or even like a late stoppage to even do anything to Matt Frevola. And that's if he can get it, So I got Matt all day in this fight.
One thing I always say about a chin is like you want to have a chin, but you don't want to rely on it.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to have a glass chin because then you have this giant hole in your game. But if you're a dude who's like always just like hands down, take
like a Gaethje.
There's no longevity, no longevity in that. Yeah, like exactly. Gaethje's a prime example of a guy like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm stoked to tape that tonight then.
I'm gonna be taping Irene Aldana just to watch Toledo Bernardo be like, oh yeah, okay, so she would smother her if she gets on the floor. But I'm gonna waste 3 hours doing it anyways.
It's not that, Toledo has no fights, and Irene Aldana's a lot of her fights are quick,
Yeah, so all right, it won't be that bad to tape. But yeah, I'm telling you the truth, man. For sure, get on that Frevola tape and see what you can find there if you like them or not. All right. But next up, we got James Krause versus Alex White. Gib, I'll let you take this one.
I like this fight. Alex recently beat Mitch Clark and Artem Lobov before his loss to Tony Martin. He's got a little bit of everything and even throws in some submission game and some striking. He's 2 in his last 5, so he's obviously kind of still working, but he still has a good record, coming from a lot of other lower ranking fights. So since 2014, he's been putting on some pretty good shows. So obviously he wants to fight James Krause, but James Krause he's tough. I like James Krause in this fight a lot. He's no stranger to the submission game as well, and he hasn't lost since 2015. He lost that one to Valmir Lazaro and obviously Masvidal in a decision. James has a good head on his shoulders, and with his last 2 decisions and submission against Darren Cruikshank, it's pretty good. He's on Team Dillashaw. He was on Team Dillashaw on the tough semifinals. So I think he's doing pretty good in this fight, and I think maybe he even goes for a submission in this one. But it's definitely a big experience gap between Alex White and Krause, and they're like only about 2 or 3 years apart.
Yeah, Krause is just he's fought like tougher competition, and it started off fighting Cerrone, fighting just like monsters when he first started fighting, and like in my opinion, I wish he stayed at 170 after the tough competition. Hold up, I just want to see. Oh yeah, he did get knocked out by Bobby Green.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check. Okay.
Did you?
Right.
Did you watch it?
No, I've never seen that knockout.
Okay, it's not on Fight Pass for some reason, so I went to YouTube because I forgot about it too. But it was a low blow. Like Bobby Green kicked him in the nuts, and then stubborn Big John called the fight.
Oh really? It says kick to the body. Wow.
He got kicked in the nuts, and then he goes down. He's like, it was one of those ones where like the kick comes up, it hits the cup, but then it ends at the body.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like it dings the cup, but then goes to the body. So he went down. He's like, oh, nut shot, and Big John's like, no, it's fine.
Stubborn Big John. Yo, he's on Bellator now, eh?
Yeah, he's commentating, right?
Yeah, he's a commentator of Bellator. Yeah, that is a good gig for him, man.
I like Big John, but sometimes he just gets something stuck in his head and he just latches onto it.
Yeah. Stubborn Big John. But yeah, man, fucking Krause looked good again. Well, he looked good against Tom Galicchio because that guy doesn't throw punches.
Did he?
He
looked good.
looked good.
That guy doesn't throw punch.
He looked sloppy. I thought he was getting sloppy in there. Like
that
when
guy's
I
a little
watched it
sloppy though.
live-
He makes you fight sloppy. I remember I was in the hospital for that fight, so I didn't get to see that fight, and I had 4 units on Krause.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a good bet. He clearly won the fight, but it wasn't like a real. He wasn't real pretty. Like he was kind of sloppy with it. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can say that. I think that guy Tom Galicchio makes you fight a little bit sloppy. He did lose in the house to Jesse Taylor. I'd love to see Jesse Taylor come back. JT Money is one of my favorite fighters, man. And then in the house, I'm just saying these fights because like I think these fights actually matter. Like Ramsey Nijem, Johnny Nunes, like these fights actually matter in the house because this was like the redemption season. And then Shane Campbell, Darren Cruikshank. The Darren Cruikshank submission was nasty too. I think Krause is like it's hard to say he's who has the better striking of these both guys because like I've seen Alex White get sloppy too, and that Tony Martin fight like he has an educated jab, educated right cross and everything, but fuck man, just like something about him gets me like I don't know if it's his face that makes me like not like trust him or something. But something about it makes me not trust him when he's fighting, man. It makes him look like he doesn't know what he's doing. But the guy's a solid pick at it. I was gonna look at tape on him when he was plus 155. I thought that was a solid price on him. Retired Mitch Clark, which was a big play there. I put a big 4.5 units on that, almost 5 units. I put, and then lost to Tony Martin, lost to Artem Lobov. This is a spitball, man. This is a hard fight to pick. This is why I passed on this one completely. But I'm gonna go with James Krause to get the win here. I think he gets the win here. How about you, Z? What are you giggling about over there, bro?
I think Krause is getting sloppy, man. Like the Nunes fight, he's getting hit.
JT Money, he looked bad.
He looked bad. Well, he tried to take JT Money down. I called JT Money to win that whole thing. JT Money is a guy who's like, he's not a world beater, but he's a solid as they come, middle of the pack.
I love him. I love him.
What? Because he partied in Vegas and got kicked off top?
he got kicked off tough.
Sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, that's exactly something I would do when you think you're winning tough. So you go party in Vegas and you get kicked off the finals.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Himself in the foot.
Yeah, like what a fucking idiot. But yeah,
is that the guy who didn't make weight?
No, he made weight.
Oh no,
or he just got.
He partied like he.
Oh, that was it.
Too hard. He was smashing limos and yelling at girls and shit.
Oh,
and then screaming, you know who I am? I'm a UFC fighter. And Damon
it's like,
goes, bro,
you're not even
ready for this shit.
Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, is that the guy you get to talk to? And he's like, "What's gonna happen when girls are on?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Oh, that's a great speech.
He's like, once you're actually a UFC fighter, what are you gonna do? And he's like, oh man,
that kid got scared.
Yo, Jesse wins redemption series.
Yeah,
that was fun. But then he popped for steroids. He popped for steroids. So come on. But look, talking about this fight, one thing I noticed specifically is that Krause, he's got such a lazy jab. He likes to fight pretty. And the thing with Mitch Clark is he's got a nasty lead right hook from a southpaw stance. I think that's going to be money for him here. I think if he gets in Krause's face and pushes that, he's going to get to Krause, man. He's going to ding him up. The other thing is Krause hasn't cut to 155 in 2 years. So how's he going to look with that weight cut? Now, I did the thought ran through my head that maybe he's looking sloppy because he's not cutting weight. And I think we saw that with the first Conor versus Diaz fight where Conor wasn't cutting weight and it hampered him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think sometimes these guys, when they cut weight, like it's almost like a ritual. It gets your frame lighter. It gets you, focused and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that could go either way. But the other thing to note is Alex White moved up from 145, and he looks a lot better technically and physically. He looks better at 155.
He was a big 145er.
He was a big 145er. And he lost to Lucas Martins. He had success in that fight. He dropped Martins. That was just, he got caught in the third round with a good shot. He was tired. He was cutting weight. He was younger back then. And Martins, not a world beater, but a good technical striker, got to him okay.
The Tony Martin fight's the only one that has me like Tony Martin put a beating on that kid, I think. Not a
really.
beating, but a blanket beating.
Yeah, but Tony Martin's a strong grappler who will do that. James Krause is not as strong. He's very slick. He's a very tricky veteran.
Yeah,
he sets
he's a black
shit up.
belt, isn't he? I believe he's a black belt, and he teaches at Glory I think it's the head instructor at Glory for Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. What I was gonna say is that the only way I see Krause winning is by submission, because he does set shit up if it's on the feet or on the mat. He's very just a slippery veteran fighter. But if Alex White gets in his face, throws hands, lands that right hand over the lazy jab, I could see him kind of just outworking James Krause, kind of wanting it more. In that Tony Martin fight, man, Alex White hits fucking hard. He drops everybody, man. And he was smart in the Mitch Clark fight when he dropped him and then let him off.
I'm surprised he couldn't drop Lobov. But Lobov is tough as fuck.
Lobov's tough, man.
He's tough as nails. No, but he was putting a beating on him.
Yeah, but he lands, right? He hits hard.
Oh, he lands hard. Yeah.
He technically didn't drop Tony Martin either, but he sat him down. And it was funny, or not funny, but it was interesting because Tony pump faked and jabbed, and then Alex White read that and came over with that right hook. He gets hit with the jab, but he rolls with it, so it almost turns him into the right hook. So that's something he's really good at, and I think he can capitalize versus Krause. But
like a simultaneous counter.
Yeah, he's just gonna time the jab to come over, and Krause is lazy with it, so it's open. But he's lazy with his hand, but Krause has his shoulder up. But the thing is, Alex White chambers his right hand so high that I think it's just a natural thing he's worked on to be able to come over the shoulder. But the line, I want that plus 155 on White. I want
if it was
2 to
plus
win 3.
If it was plus 155, I would have threw the 2 down to win 3. Would have been happy, but
But now I feel like I'm forcing it because, like you said, James Krause is better on the ground. He could win a striking match if it plays out technically.
Yeah.
So it is a little sketchy.
If it plays at his pace, he could win. But if Alex White brings the pressure like he usually does, this is Alex White's fight, man. But I don't know what's going to happen, so I have to pass.
Yeah, because guys who fight pretty, if you pressure them like that, that's when they're no good. Like when they want space, they want distance, they want to pick and poke and play that edge of the pocket game. That's where you just crowd a guy and just zombie into him. So if Alex White can do that, he's gonna find success. And the last point I'm gonna make is I do think moving up from 145 to 155, he looks so much better, man. He looks jacked, and I think he could just out-muscle Krause, who is now dropping down. So. It's a fun fight. If it gets into playable range, I will pull the trigger. But as it stands right now, 135 for us, I'm not going to touch it, I don't think. I might change my mind.
Is it at plus 135?
In Pinnacle, yeah.
All right.
5 times it's 140.
Oh, see, if it gets to plus 150, that'd be nice.
That's
that'd be really nice. Then I would take a second look at the fight for sure. But did you go on this one yet?
Oh yeah, I had Krause. I already picked him.
Okay.
Sorry, I go so long you forget that.
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
No,
I got Krause for the submission read.
Everyone knows I'm the biggest stoner, so I'm gonna forget 5 minutes into my conversation what I'm saying, anyways. All right. So next up is I'm actually juiced for this fight: Michael Johnson versus Darren Elkins. And where the fuck did he go?
I'm just grabbing him.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Michael Johnson versus Darren Elkins. I'm surprised this is not on the main card.
This should be a co-main event.
Yeah, this is a great fight, and this is in Michael Johnson's hometown. I think this is a slap in the face that this isn't on the main card, and they put Paige Vanzant on the main card.
And Alves Cummings. That's a big name. That's winning fighters.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding.
Oh no.
That's a slap in the face, man. They didn't put this right. Yeah,
that's like starting off WrestleMania with The Rock.
Yeah, no kidding. What are you doing in the Rock's hometown? All right, so Michael Johnson versus Darren Elkins. Who's the more technical striker? I'm gonna go with my boy Michael Johnson there. And but like as we saw, like Darren Elkins can take a beating. It's scary. He's the damage for a reason. He takes all that damage. That Mirsad Bektik fight, I had to rewatch it twice when I did film study because that shit was incredible. It was not normal the beating he took. That was probably 2 10-8 rounds. That's
10-7, man. I
yeah,
say 2 10-7s straight
yeah.
up.
That was
Jeez.
those were beatings.
Honestly, and he gashed him, he cut him open, he dominated every facet. He had him close to being finished. There was no success at all for Darren Elkins until he finished the fight.
Yeah, and then he finished it, which is
Like,
amazing. Yeah, he ends up winning plus 700. Ends up fucking winning.
by finish.
Yeah, knocks out Mirsad Bektik too. And so that shit's crazy. So and then since that he put a since he's moved to Team Alpha Male, the guys looked awesome, man. He's been putting together some good. Like I can't hate on him. He fought Dennis the Menace, and he looked good in that fight too. He's fighting another Menace now though, and I think Michael Johnson making the trip down to 145. I think that's gonna prove solid, man. I think not only is it better for his cardio, but we always saw like he wasn't the most like ripped guy. He always had like a little bit of a not a belly, but like it wasn't toned up, so he could still lose some weight, Michael Johnson. So I don't think this is gonna totally drain him out. I think this is a good weight class from him. And we saw at 155 the punching power he has. Imagine
it's a great weight class for him.
Yeah, imagine going to 145 with the punching power he has. The same punching power that knocked out Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Okay, so he's coming to 145 with that punching power. Fast hands. He already has fast hands for 155. He's gonna have fast hands at 145 too. Guy's crazy, crazy combinations, and he's a good wrestler. We saw him hurt Khabib standing up. We saw him, like I said, knock out Dustin Poirier. We saw him against, we saw him break against Khabib. That was the only fault. And then we saw him in that epic fight where he was turning up on Justin Gaethje, and then ends up getting hurt. Epic fight, might have been fight of the year. And to my understanding, man, Michael Johnson could not only take a beating, he's also. So I think this fight's going in 3 rounds, man. A lot of people are saying like if Michael Johnson doesn't get this done in the first, it's over. I think Michael Johnson picks Darren Elkins apart. I think he's a little bit. I know he's a lot faster on the footwork and everything, so he'll be able to time those jabs and overhead hooks and everything like that on Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins is going to be a little bit slower. He's more of that grit, pipe fitter kind of guy that like he just pins you up against the cage. He's going to try and bring him down and submit him. He's very active with submissions. And I think it's going to get him in trouble here. I think Michael Johnson, this is a good fight for him to enter the weight class. And I think he does put on a show here. So I got Michael Johnson 2.5 units at minus 164 to win 1.52 units. And pretty confident in that one as well. Gebbo, with you?
I really like this fight. This is one of the best ones on the card. What can you say about MJ that hasn't already been said? He's always a fight of the year candidate, and I think this one could look like a really good one, especially to start the year off. He's always comes packing. You know, when this guy steps forward, he's going to unleash like a deadly combination on you, and just one of those punches is going to put you out or at least get you close. He has lost his last 4. But only the really high-level competition, Nate, Khabib, Gaethje, and guys who are already on tears. So, again, no shame, no fault. And Darren Elkins is actually doing really well. He won his last 5, so he's actually doing great. He's more of a decision guy. He did get a KO against Mirsad, who was undefeated before fighting Elkins. So I think that's pretty interesting. he's a good wrestler, and it shows in the way he can pull off these wins. He's just constant pressure if you can't get him off. But I think Michael Johnson has that punching power that it's going to make you think before you dive in for those takedowns, dive in for the leg or the waist or whatever you're going for. Because Michael Johnson, he only really has to touch you a few times to make you really respect him. And when guys sit on that kind of the outskirts of town, Michael Johnson has his way. He gets his rest. He gets his he gets his good distance. He gets his good setups, and everything is pretty much made for him going forward and you going back. If Darren Elkins can't wrap up a good wrestling move and get a similar game plan going like Khabib did, I don't see him winning the striking game. I don't see him winning in the long run. And even if he does kind of wrestle him up, there are certain times where Darren Elkins there's a bit of space kind of left when he's done wrestling or when kind of someone gets away. And I think those are spots where Michael Johnson tends to sprint at you. I mean, you can't leave this guy alone for a second or without a grip, because if you lose one, Michael Johnson's out. He's not he might not be going for the submission, but he knows how to get out of certain spots and right back to striking. So I got Michael Johnson in this one, but I mean, Darren Elkins is a pretty deadly pick because this guy hasn't been losing. So it's either Michael Johnson hands him his first loss or Darren keeps the W train going. So
all right, Z.
Yeah, my thing with this fight, that was a good read, kid. But
thanks.
My thing in this fight is pretty simple. Like, Darren Elkins breaks people and Michael Johnson breaks, the idea that he's going to be better at 145 is speculative. So we don't know, and his cardio could be hurt from the cut. He might not have as much energy. He might not be as fast comparatively to his opposition. And speed was his weapon at 155, right? He was the guy who was fast hand speed. Now, I do expect him for sure to have faster hand speed than Darren Elkins. So it's not really, he's still going to be fast. But if Elkins can survive the first and start to take him down, start to sap that energy, see what that weight cut, see what it does to him, I do think Elkins could break him. Elkins could pull out a decision. But I definitely do lean with the offensive potential of MJ being too much for the punching bag, who is Darren Elkins. I think he takes him out early. So I'll go with that, but that's the same read I had with Justin Gaethje. I thought Gaethje gets hit so much, MJ can get him out of there, and MJ couldn't because of that chin. So, I'm a little hesitant to put my money behind this pick. And Michael Johnson, what is he? Minus 155. All right, so that's not too bad. That's slight favorite. I do understand the wagers on MJ coming in here. So, yeah, I like that, but for me, I just don't want to see Elkins smother my guy and have my guy just break, So I'm going to be passing, but yeah, MJ by KO.
Yeah, I know that's a possibility, and that'll literally break my heart. If I see him break again, because the Khabib fight, he was a broken man of himself.
I'd want to see him on the scale at least first.
Yeah, I know that's something Will Martin was saying. He was saying to wait to bet him until he reaches the scales. Yeah. I was an idiot. I thought I was being smart and betting him early.
I think stare downs are important.
I got minus 164. It's at minus 155 right now. So, yeah, I should have waited a little bit. But that being said, I don't know. I think he's going to just be too much for Darren. I think Darren's not going to be able to throw up the combinations we have. And I think I don't think he's going to break in this fight. I just have a feeling he's I know he Darren Elkins is that guy who can break people, but I don't think he gets Michael Johnson down repeatedly like Khabib does. I think ever since that fight, I think Michael Johnson's kind of scared of that shit to happen ever again. So I think he knows I think he went right back into the drawing board after that fight and made sure that doesn't happen to him again. At least, he's never gonna fight Khabib again, but at least so it doesn't happen again. Because he got more.
Yeah, there is something to be said for him already experiencing that type of fight where you're just smothered, you can't do anything. You know what I mean?
Like he knows, like at that situation, he's done. Like if it happens in the first round, like how it happened with Khabib, he's finished. But I don't.
But I do expect him to land. I expect him to sting Elkins early because Elkins does get hit, of course. And like Gibb was saying, like once he stings him, he can then establish his range and start to tee off.
Yeah.
You know, if Elkins is hesitant or Elkins isn't just full on grind mode, he's gonna end up really bloody at the end of this fight.
Well, I think if Elkins doesn't look like Khabib, if Elkins isn't the mirror image of the guy who took him down before, I mean, I think Michael Johnson's gonna wake up and go, "This isn't the monster. Like this isn't Khabib trying to take me down. This is some other guy who isn't the same." And I'm not going down to that.
And
so
it's at 145. You have to know he's been wrestling with guys at 155, so he knows what it's like too.
All right, good luck wrestling guys like Nate.
Yeah,
that's a tall motherfucker to wrestle, especially if he knows jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, fucking and Nate's easy to wrestle. I think. Imagine wrestling guys like I know Z's thinking about like, yeah, I'll try and wrestle Tyson off and see what happens to you.
Yeah, well, Prazeres did it. That goes to show what a beast Prazeres is.
Yeah, Prazeres is another kind of a wrestle Prazeres and see what happens to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just levels, man.
Yeah, but exactly. So,
yeah, I don't mind the MJ play. I don't mind the MJ play at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he gets the job done. First fight at 145 in his hometown. He's fired up that he's not the main event, not even on the main card. He's coming off back-to-back losses. I think he knows he needs a win here, and he really needs a win here. He's 1-5 or 1-4 in his last 5. So he needs a win, man. And I think he gets the job done here. I think smart move to drop it down to 145, and I think he makes an impact. So, but next up, we got this is the easiest breakdown for me: Kamaru Usman versus Emil Weber Meek, and Kamaru Usman's just gonna fucking break him, bro. He's gonna grind him so bad. It's gonna look like I can't even. It's definitely gonna be.
He's gonna show him another level.
Yeah,
he's gonna show him what the next level is. Yeah.
And I've been saying this for a while, man. Kamaru Usman's that guy. Like, wait till he gets a title shot. I'm riding on this kid. Even if he gets a title shot, I'll be picking him. There's nobody in the division I see him losing to. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's got great stand up. He's great on the floor. His grappling is insane. He's literally the best grappler I think in the UFC. It's hard to say he's not. The stuff he does, the how he breaks people, like. What he did to Sean Strickland, like that was gonna be his toughest test. And what he did to Sean Strickland, he like completely broke him, man. And like that was just like, go ahead.
He's very knowledgeable too, like
very smart. He does Titan FC.
Titan FC, yeah.
So he knows his stuff. He's a great analyst too. And Emil Weber Meek, I haven't seen him since 206, where I saw live, and he was. And I think this guy's on steroids or some shit. Something like that, man. Fucking see his body, he's yoked. This guy, yeah, he's jacked. But fucking I think that those muscles and shit are gonna be super taxing on him in the later rounds, in rounds 2 and 3. And I think Kamaru gets a late submission, or if not, he gets like a 30-26 decision here. I think he just really grinds him, and he goes on the mic after and calls out like Colby Covington or like Dos Anjos or something like that, which he deserves. He deserves to fight like that next, man. It's not fair. He's like ranked number 12. This guy deserves to be a top 5 fighter. He can beat people in the top 5, man. I just want to see him get there. What do you guys think? Z? Or
I went. No, I'm good. I'm not gonna play the line. Right?
Yeah, that's why I passed. I forgot to mention. I passed. Obviously, the line's minus 555. Not playing that shit. It's not, and I'm staying away from parlays in 2018, so I'm not parlaying it either. So yeah, there was no.
Yeah, this is the case where you just say, "Oh, the bookie's onto it. They got it right. Okay."
Yeah.
No opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to look for an opportunity with Mech, and I didn't see it, man. In his Jordan Mean fight, he gets taken down right away, so it's just such a bad look.
Yeah.
And I really think his hype, I said it in my breakdown as well, but I think his hype is all cosmetic. Like, people just like the way he looks. They like how he sounds, I guess. The
Yeah.
only thing I could see potentially, the way he knocked out Paul Harris, like with those elbows, those Travis Brown style
Yeah.
elbows, as if Kamaru's going for an ill-advised takedown, like if he stalls up against the fence and like, but I don't see that happening. If he goes for a takedown, he's getting the takedown, you know? He's
Yeah.
just gonna beast him. Just an absolute beasting of Kamaru Usman. Put him in your DraftKings lineups, and
That's what I did. I loaded him up in DraftKings. I'm gonna pick him in Peltmaster, and that's how I'm rolling with him. I'm putting him in every DraftKings lineup there is.
yeah, I agree. What's his price there?
9,400, and he's worth
He's
it.
the top.
He's gonna get
Is he the
100
top
points.
guy?
Yeah, he's gonna get 100 points.
I think so. And yeah. It's just an obvious fight in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
this
this.
is MMA. This is MMA.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, Gib.
Oh, I saw this coming. I mean, when I first saw him, I think it was the Ultimate Fighter when he was ATT in Black Zillions.
Oh yeah.
Anyone that went up against this guy, I felt bad for. It was a complete mismatch. The way he kicks and goes into his punches, the way he hip tosses people, gets to the side, goes and wrestles. He can do anything, and he's heavy. He's huge. This guy's gonna keep on winning. I just want to see him fight someone different. But I do think this is gonna end in knockout. Either of them. But I think Usman's got it no matter what. But Emil Meek's same kind of size-ish. They're both 170s. They're both gonna throw. So somebody is getting put in the dirt in this fight. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's MMA, so anything can happen.
Yo, they set the under at 2.5 at plus 115. Like, so that's, man, if you want to.
That might be playable. I gotta go take a look at that right there.
Because Usman inside the distance is plus 134. So like, if you like, that's the case. You take the inside the distance. You got a minus 650 favorite for plus 134 to finish the fight. You know,
it's interesting they both have one submission.
But this is a case where I can like Usman. Does he finish fights except that fight with who did he just fight? Sergio Moraes.
Sean Strickland.
He didn't finish him.
No, it was a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if
plus 115 isn't bad though.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't. I could see a case where he just whoops his ass for 15. You know, I could see that too.
I just wouldn't want to fuck with my money on that just because I can see exactly him whip his ass for 15 minutes. Because I think Emil Meek's a tough guy. He just looks like a tough guy. So like he just looks like he can take an ass whooping.
Well, they're both about the same size. I think Kamaru might be a little bit bigger, but I mean.
Oh, well, Emil is yoked though. Emil is way bigger in like frame.
Well, I'm pretty sure Kamaru.
I don't know if I'm buying that, man. I don't know if I'm buying that. I think this Emil's jacked thing is a little overplayed, man. Honestly.
I think they're both pretty big. They're both about the same.
I think he's jacked. This guy is jacked. Like he took a picture.
I just think it's too hyped. Like he's muscular, Meek, but
there's like Viking blood in him. He's fucked.
Yeah.
Norway, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
Shit, yo, Kamaru has fucking 3 inches of reach on him too, and an inch of height and 3 inches of reach.
That's big.
He's the bigger frame.
Yeah, Kamaru is the bigger frame. I'm just debating live right now, if I should bet the plus 115. I don't know. That looks like a nice play, but we'll talk about that after. All right. So next up, we got Paige Vanzant taking on Jessica Rose Clark. Gib, I'll let you take this one because I don't want to talk about it.
No, what?
Okay. I mean, she hasn't fought either. And it's about time to get back into the swing of things, unless they're doing another Dancing with the Stars season she can get on. I think her last fight was against Watterson when she came back, which did not go very well for her when she got submitted. But obviously she's looking for a win here, and she still has that kick knockout over Beck Rawlings, and Jessica Rose Clark had a bit of a tough time against Beck Rawlings and got like a split in that fight. So a big win over Paige would probably catapult her, so she definitely needs it. I kind of want Rose Clark to win, but I don't know. I think Paige probably will take it because they're definitely throwing up an alley-oop for her, you know?
Well, they're at least trying to here.
A bit of one. A bit of, yeah, as good as alley-oop as she can get, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I mean, I think Paige is good, but I just don't see her really beating a lot of the high-level Roses or Joanna or anyone at least in the runnings, like in the top runnings for a spot at it.
Yeah. How about you, Z?
Yo, boys, watch the tape. Watch the tape, man. Jessica Rose Clark's a beast. She's not a beast, but she should be a sizable favorite here. She's got legit Muay Thai. She throws good technical strikes. Her fight with Beck Rawlings, she won, but that was, you got to remember too. You're comparing Beck Rawlings at 115 versus Paige versus Beck Rawlings at 125.
And this girl is big, Jessica Rose Clark. This girl's big.
She's big. She usually fights at 135. And that Beck Rawlings fight, she took on short notice. So she was training for a fight December 8th, and then she took the fight on November 18th. So even though she was in the gym, that fight got bumped up like 3 or 4 weeks, you know? And then her fight before that versus Karina Dam, she took that on short notice as well, and that should not have been a split decision at all. Then she lost, before that, she lost to Sarah Kaufman. Sarah Kaufman's 18-4, not a bad loss at 135. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's, check us out. She's 135er, dropping down. Paige is 115, moving up. That's important in this fight because Paige
relies on physicality,
relies on size and pressuring in the clinch, like bullying smaller girls. That's what she's best at. If she's moving on the outside, she loses this fight 100%. Jessica Clark, she throws a nice right hand, nice left hook, nice chop, but her best weapon is a left knee. She hurt Beck Rawlings with that. She hurt Pam Sorensen with that. Even though that was a split, I mean, like, it was a close fight, competitive fight. I put 3 units on Jessica Rose Clark minus 112. I really like her in this spot. I
didn't even see that you picked her. Wow.
Yeah, I know you didn't. By the way you're talking. Oh, I don't want to talk about this. Oh, an alley-oop. I'm telling you, this is an opportunity. Like, Jessica Rose Clark's the bigger fighter. She's the better striker. Paige Vanzant can't do what she's best at. I mean, this is a good opportunity. Fade Paige.
Fade Paige.
I'm telling you. Like look at this. Okay, yeah, she lost to.
Well, I mean, I could see her beating her. Absolutely. I mean, this is her spot. Like, this is the best spot to be in.
Man, it's gonna take like a grit, tooth and nail, improvements from Paige to win this fight. It's gonna be hard for her to win this fight. If you look down her career, who she beat? She knocked out Beck Rawlings. Okay, it was a fluky kick. You know, she was losing that fight.
Well, she was heavy. You're right. I can't agree.
Well, Beck was cutting down to 115 for that, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So now, and then when Beck
it was a tougher cut,
Jessica, she didn't have to cut. So she has that win. Alex Chambers, super tiny girl. She bullied her, beat her up. Felice Herrig hadn't slept in 2 days when they fought, and then her win against Kaylin Curran for her debut. Like, nothing legit. When you watch her fight, she's not technical at all. She's very, very poor defensively on the feet. She gets hit. She gets dinged up all the time. Jessica Rose Clark, this is going to be a Muay Thai clinic from the larger woman.
Now I got to go check out some Jessica Rose Clark tape after we're done.
She is an Aussie, man.
I know she's an Aussie. I know I don't remember the Beck Rawlings fight being like that good of a display of her Muay Thai or anything.
Well, check this out. Don't watch her fight versus Beck Rawlings. Go back and watch her fight versus Karina Dam. It's on Titan. It's on Fight Pass.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You can watch her Invicta fight versus Penny
Kianzad and Pam Sorensen. Like, dude, this chick's not only is she good and technical, but she's making improvements fight to fight. She's for sure better than she has been. This is the first time she's got a full training camp behind her. She's an Aussie, but she's training at Syndicate in Las Vegas for a long time. I mean, man, I'm telling you guys, this is something to look out for. Like you told me with that fight earlier.
Frevola, yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to go check this one out for sure because there's always a time to fade Paige. I thought this was kind of a setup for Paige to win.
That's what I thought too when I saw the record. I was like, okay. And I didn't watch tape until later. But when you go and you watch it, the way this fight's going to play out is Paige is going to get lit up at striking range. She's going to try to clinch and bully, but she's out-muscled here. So Jessica Rose Clark's going to shuck her off and just keep piecing her up. Like, I'm telling you, the striking gap is massive in this fight. Okay. And it's not like Jessica Rose Clark has to be, a kickboxing champion. But I'm just telling you, like, when you watch the tape back-to-back, side-by-side, you see one fighter throwing strikes correctly, tight guard, well-trained, and also powerful. Like, and she fights at 135.
Yeah.
She just lost to an atom weight, to a 105er,
Yeah, no kidding.
Take a look at it.
Okay. Well, you mentioned Pam Sorensen, and she's 7-2, and that's not a bad record to have, especially better than most people in the UFC, especially in their division. So
exactly, and that was a close fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was at 135, right? So it was two weight classes bigger than what Paige has been at, and it was a close fight versus a good opponent.
Yeah, I gotta definitely check out that. She has a split decision with Karina Dam, but you're saying it's not a split. She should have. It was a unanimous, you think?
Yeah, the judges were taking a long time with it too. I think they fucked up somehow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that shouldn't be a split.
All right, I'm gonna check that one out. I think this girl has the potential of beating Paige, but I don't know. I gotta watch the tape now.
Now you get a line now. I'd say wait a few days because you never know what ways a line's gonna go based on what kind of information comes out.
Yeah.
Or who else bets it, right? But like, yeah, definitely. You get a better line than I got right now on Pinnacle. It's
hopefully she can make, because I know she was fighting on short notice last time, right?
She's never made 125. That is a worry,
Yeah,
this is the first time. This is the first time she's getting a full camp to make it.
Okay, that was my only problem because she missed weight the last time at 128.
She actually has a no contest to this Japanese chick because she missed weight too. She came in 6 pounds or 5 pounds heavy, and I tried to look for the actual result, but I'm assuming she won the fight, but they gave her a no contest because she missed weight. So she hasn't made the weight before, but I think she's gonna be all right. And even if she doesn't, man, missing weight's not a big deal anymore. Lots of fighters who miss weight win fights.
And they just take the 20% and fuck it. Yeah, it's not even that big of a deal anymore, exactly. But this girl was actually scheduled to fight Vanessa Porto. Just keep in mind that would have been a big fight for her.
That's when but look at that. That was scheduled for December 8th. Reason she signed to the UFC. That was the fight she was training for when she got the call to fight Beck Rawlings.
Yeah,
and got bumped up like 4 weeks.
Oh man, she got bumped up. Yeah, 4 weeks almost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so okay, I'm gonna watch some more tape on her, and I'll let you know. You might see me.
You didn't even look at it. So.
Well, I only watched the Beck Rawlings video, honestly, and I was like not even that impressed.
And be honest, were you paying attention?
Yeah, I was smoking weed.
Yeah. One of my favorite responses is I think we were doing tape and I was putting on Jessica I, and you're like, hold on, I need some for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a smoke for Jessica I. Come on. Can't watch Jessica I sober. What the fuck? But okay, so my boy Z is telling me to look out for Jessica Rose Clark. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go watch some tape on her. You guys might see me make a final play tomorrow because it's gonna be her, or I'm thinking about playing Aldana or Bernardo, one of them too. I don't know. We'll see the tape. We'll see where the tape lies. But from what everything I saw off page is true. What you said, like this girl gets hit a lot, man, and she's just gonna be in trouble in this fight. Like that, she got that in the Beck Rawlings fight. She looked good in that Beck Rawlings fight just because Beck's a jobber, man.
And it
And
was the highlight. For the
yeah,
majority of that fight, she was moving around on the outside, not doing much of anything, and then getting pieced up when she entered. And also Beck gave ground really easily in that fight, where Jessica Rose Clark doesn't do that. Like Jess the biggest and best fighter I think she's fought straight up. Maybe not Rose. Rose Namajunas is probably better, but we're talking about a champion, you know.
yeah, and Paige is small for 125. I think 115 is her actual weight class, and I don't know why she's moving up to 125 because this
I
Jessica
don't think she
Rose
can take the
Clark.
speed, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure, man, but I know Jessica Rose
What's
Clark
that?
is a big girl.
I don't think she can take the speed.
Who can't? Jessica?
No,
No.
Paige. If she goes down to the lower weights,
Oh, yeah.
Why?
it seemed like she had a bit of a time with Michelle Watterson. Michelle Watterson is her weight. You know what I mean? So if she were to go down,
Michelle fought most of her career at 105.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. She lost to an atom weight before, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on from this one. We already talked too much about it. I didn't want to talk about it. All right, the co-main event. We got Vitor, the Phenom Belfort, versus Uriah Primetime Hall. Geb, I'll let you go because I know you like Uriah Hall.
Oh, what an awesome fight! I think Vitor only really coming off that one Nate Marquardt win, but that guy's tough as nails. I like a good Nate Marquardt fight. Hasn't been doing very well, but I mean that guy knocks people out. If you remember that Tyron Woodley fight,
Yeah.
but, it only really makes him 2-5 with a no contest with Calvin. So there's not much more you can say. Hasn't already been said. Without the juice, he looks like a Portuguese construction worker. Huge arms, but like a huge stomach, and just not exactly where he should be. We know he struggles. We know what he struggles with. He kind of comes in with that, lots of hands, but nowhere near the face, and just kind of throws the machine gun out and rushes you, bum rush, and that's a kill zone for Uriah Hall. He can take his pick at what he hits you with there. Obviously, Uriah Hall is one of those guys that I'm surprised never took the belt. He just would lose at these weird moments and weird decisions. I remember he lost to John Doomsday Howard, and Robert Whitaker, which I don't think is a bad fight, especially considering what Robert Whitaker is today. But Derek Brunson and Gegard, a lot of these fights are pretty taxing. So on someone who came into the UFC off of one of the best knockouts that Tough seen, I can't remember another knockout that was better than that in the Tough House.
Yeah, I agree. That was the best one.
They had him on, I think, a little bit of an easy street. I remember they were giving him like Chris Lieben, and just like.
But they gave him Thiago Santos. That's an easy fight. That's a hard fight.
Oh, that's true. But I mean, I don't know. I
think they gave him Bambosi.
Yeah, they give him Bang Bus, exactly.
Well, once Rafael Natal roughed him up, who again is still top level, again he loses to Robert Whitaker, so he's always kind of losing to guys who just can't quite make it to the top. Whereas Vitor at one point was there, but it's just wondering if this guy's age just completely trumps everything that he's done. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I kind of want to see Vitor war it out and maybe even exchange for a while. But Uriah Hall does tend to slip up every now and then and kind of gets beaten by the more better fighter and generally more patient guy who drags him down to the floor and kind of makes him spend lots of energy. A tired Uriah Hall is pretty useless. The guy can't throw his big wheel kicks. The guy can't, do his dazzling stuff. So I still think Uriah Hall wins it though. Vitor doesn't seem to be much of a big threat to a lot of guys. So I see Uriah Hall getting his win back, but I'm curious who they put Uriah Hall up against next if he does beat Vitor, or if they put Vitor Belfort up against anyone after this, or this is his last fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm considering too. I don't know if this is his retirement fight because he's been saying.
Yeah, I was looking that up. Do you guys know?
I have no idea, but
Depends on how bad. Depends on how long he's unconscious for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think he gets knocked out here. I know our boy Kelton has 5 units on Uriah Hall. I threw 2.5 on Hall. At I think -205 or something. I got him at -205, and I just he's not the better striker overall, I would say, just because like Vitor obviously has like all the fucking experience and everything, but when it comes down to it, Uriah Hall, the way he strikes and everything is just gonna. If this is a striking battle, he's gonna maintain his distance and he's gonna crack Vitor once, and that chin's so long gone, man. It's fucked. He's been in the wars, and he's on a bad streak. We saw that knockout. The knockout of Gastelum really showed me that like his chin was deteriorated though. Like shots that he normally takes on the chin like with ease is like Gastelum hit him with that quick right hand and put him to bed. But Uriah Hall coming off that crazy comeback victory against Krzysztof Jotko, where like Jotko was piecing him up in the first round. It hurt him real bad, and then pretty much wasted all his energy trying to finish Uriah Hall. And then Uriah Hall comes back and finishes Jotko. So I went ahead and I took the shot on Uriah Hall. I just think he's going to be the more proficient striker on Sunday night. I think he's going to be the better striker, the faster striker, the more powerful striker. And I think he gets a knockout here in one of the early round 1 or 2. And yeah, man. It's just hard for me to pick. Like, it would be hard for me to pick against Uriah Hall in this matchup, just because like his time's come, man. He's 4 years old. He's got to go, man. If this isn't his last fight, I'm surprised what would be his last fight, because there's not too many fights from them. I thought that the Nate Marquardt fight should have been his last fight. Go out on a win.
In Brazil,
exactly.
Yeah.
It was against someone who definitely throws bombs. So
yeah, I thought that was a good way to go out, but I guess not. So we get to watch him again, and we get to watch him get knocked out, hopefully against Uriah Hall. So let's
go. You said you got money on that? You put
2.5 units.
At -200, you said?
205.
Yeah, that's the range. I let that get away from me. I just hesitated a little bit. That -200 range is good for Hall here.
It's at like -3 something right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's getting a little bit out of playable range for me. I do like the fight for Hall, though. I think Belfort gives him the space he needs to operate, the space he needs to set up his shit, because what Belfort is looking to do is blitz and just throw, fast combination, time you and throw a fast combination. So all that time spent in open water, that's time that Uriah can be working. My problem at the -300 range is that, we saw in the Kelvin fight, Belfort still has that hand speed. He actually can still throw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He fought smarter versus Marquardt, and I actually wouldn't advise him to do that here versus Hall. Although if he does drag it into deep water, I can kind of see. But still, I think his path to victory is to just land the left hand. We saw Derek Brunson land a left hand on Hall and take him out. And Hall, offensively, he's very intimidating, and he has a lot of offensive potential, offensive power. But when his defense has never been very fundamental at all. Like what he does is he'll just lean back straight up and out, and stuff coming down the pipe can get to you, especially if Belfort shuffles in. Where Hall's best at is when he's floating away, like when he's light on his feet. He can do that and kind of float back from guys and then counter them, which is very, very devastating. But he does play that game, right? He baits you. In looking at his wins on Tough, the Adam Sella knockout gets played all the time, the spinning hook kick, but the Bubba McDaniels knockout was fucking nasty. Like if you forget about that one, go back and watch that. He tees him up. It's an 8-second fight. He just hits him. He goes down, but it's just such a nasty straight right counter, and he landed the same thing against Stallings, where he just
Oh yeah,
pull
Ron
counters.
Stallings, yeah.
It's fucking sick, man. When you look at his losses too, like Kelvin, okay, it was a
That's
big
what I was
upset.
gonna mention. His losses. Sorry to cut you off. His
No, go ahead.
losses
Go ahead.
are to great people. It's not like he's lost to like these bums. He's lost to Gegard. He's lost to Kelvin. He's lost to Whitaker. He's lost to just like the top of the top, you know. And like he's
the John Howard loss is a bad one on his record. That one stands out as like, ooh, you lost to John Howard, like kind of a tailor-made match.
He wanted it that night. He was in his hometown. He got him on the floor and he was busting him. I saw a bit of a kind of like a little mini documentary on him, and he was really working hard for that fight. He wanted that.
John Howard was?
Oh yeah.
So that was okay. That makes more sense then. So it was John Howard's best night. You know,
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense because Natal is just a slippery, greasy Brazilian, you know, just
weasel,
decent everywhere, just a weasel, right? Yeah, exactly. And then like you said, the champ Brunson, who's got bombs, in Gegard, who's like, you know, the assassin. Against Jocko though, he was getting busted up. So long story short, I'm favoring Hall in the matchup. I think he ends the career of Belfort, but I just see an opening for Belfort to go out on a win. If he can blitz at the right time, get Hall just pulling back straight, and if he clips him, he can hurt him. Hall took a lot of damage in his last fight. That wasn't too long ago, and before that, he got knocked out back to back. So like, I just had to pump the brakes at -300, but at -200, I support your bet, Sebs.
Yeah, thank you, Z. I wish I actually threw 3 units on him. I would have. I'm thinking about putting maybe a half a unit on the knockout. I think that might. How much is the knockout paying?
-150.
That's probably not worth it.
The round 1 is +205 in Sports Interaction for us.
That's not bad then.
That's what you do.
Take a round 1 +205.
Yeah, for your little bonus. Little D-Gen bonus.
Little D-Gen bonus there. All right, but let's go to the finals. Here, the main event of the card: Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens versus Duho Korean Superboy Choi. This is a fucking fight, man. This is this is a fucking fight. This is Little Heathen. Last time I saw Duho Choi was in Toronto against Cub Swanson. Literally, I ripped my sweater. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen. To this day, I think it's to this day it's next for me. A lot of people want to like say, okay, it might have been the fight of the year and stuff like that. I think it's right next. I'm not even bullshitting you. Right next to Henderson and Shogun.
Shogun.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
That is one of the best fights, though. You're right.
And I think that's Duho Choi at Cub was just like everything you wanted and more. And especially being there live, the atmosphere was so crazy, man. Nobody cared who won that fight. I had money on Duho Choi that fight, and bro, I didn't give a fuck that he lost. I was like, this is amazing. What a fucking fight. We saw him light up Thiago Tavares. We saw him like Duho Choi is dangerous, man. The only thing is he's a little bit inactive. He hasn't fought in over a year now. But
don't you like that? Don't you like that after a guy just went through a life-changing type of fight?
I guess
it
so.
Depends.
Like Gibb says, it depends. But like
he took a lot of fucking damage, man. Like he needed time off.
Yeah, even Cub was saying like he should have got the towel thrown in or some shit like that. But like I don't know if a year is like sometimes a year's too much, man. But I hear what you're saying.
Oh, he got injured too. See this?
Against Andrew Feely or Andre Feely at 214. Yeah, I remember that he was supposed to fight Feely. That would have been a good fight. I would have took Choi there, 100%. But yeah, here he's slight favorite against Jeremy Stevens at what is he now? Is he -160, minus something like that? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, -152 in Pinnacle.
Okay, so he
approaching -150. Right?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not even gonna bug around the bush anymore. I got fucking Jeremy Stevens 3 units at +145. to win. Let's see how many units to win. 4.35 units. I just think he has what it takes, man. I think Jeremy Stevens is he's like that guy you just, especially Dooku Choi. This is a bad match for Choi, man. This just let me tell you why. Just because like Choi's first of all his cardio isn't even that good. If you
No,
yeah,
that's true.
if you go watch him against Cub, my man, there was like maybe a little bit of grappling and he lost all of his cardio. So like something about that got me like, okay, that was a little weary. And this being 5 rounds, I'm not sure how prepared he is for that. His chin being a little bit like played,
Open.
yeah. The way he throws strikes is like he'll, like you're saying, he doesn't leave his whole like it's really weird. He'll leave like an opening of his chin open every time he throws a right hand, and it's like if Stevens is there to connect fast enough, he's gonna clean him out. He's gonna clear him out. Oh my goodness, I'm thinking of that now. what a hook he'll give him, but. Choi is super quick and has accurate piston like hands, man. He can hit the target like a buzzsaw. And but going against Stevens, who has the cardio, has the grit, has the toughness, has the knockout power. This is a guy who like one does not simply knock out Rafael dos Anjos and put his head in the fifth round or the fifth row. Uh, he dropped those Anjos with, and then Honey Jason with that knee. Like the stuff he's done is just
Head kicked him.
Oh yeah, the
Didn't
head
he?
kick. Yeah, the head kick. Yeah, you're right. It was a
And
head
then he
kick.
dove into the right hand. And
Yeah.
boom. Yeah, he's savage.
He like he said, he puts people to sleep. He doesn't knock them out and they're still moving. You know, he puts them right to fucking sleep.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what you got to do with Choi. Like we saw, Cub has power, but he just didn't have enough power to put the final nail in the coffin. And if you don't, Choi will be there. You know?
Yeah,
Choi's got a chin. Koreans got chins.
Yeah, as we know, Koreans have got some fucking chins, and if you're not there to put them away, when like there's a couple times where Cub could have put him away, but he just didn't have the power to finish him, and like that's where I think Stevens is going to come in. I think Stevens is going to come ever. Like this guy training at Alliance is the best thing ever. The when did he switch to Alliance? How many years ago? Do you know?
I know what you're getting at, though. I don't know exactly when, but I know what you're getting at. He's
Yeah.
in good form. He's in good form now. He's in good condition.
Yeah,
He's
like
I
haven't seen him like this in a long time. It's like ever. Like his condition, his body. He was saying on the Joe Rogan Experience that he likes to go on long distance running.
Yeah, he just hits the treadmill, right?
Yeah, no, not even the treadmill. He goes on, he goes on like miles, like not mile sprints, like fucking 10-mile runs, 10K runs,
Yeah.
like into
Doing a lot of road work.
Yeah, like through the roads and shit, and just through like the woods, and like this guy would just run for like 10K, and like he says like it's helping him push his body to the point where like he can still work at the pace of like in the fifth round that he wants to work at, you know. So like that's something I like to hear. The guy's very aware, very smart when he's in the ring. He comes up with setup game plans. He knew that the low calf kick was going to be there against Gilbert, so he landed it all night and took out Gilbert's leg. He's just going to come in with a game plan. He's smart. I think he had a little bit of a difficult time against Renato Moicano, who's like a legit striker, but
very elusive in that fight.
Yeah,
Renato was just content to. Okay, I can't exchange with this guy at all. I need to kick his legs and get out, kick his legs and get out. So good game plan from Moicano.
Yeah, exactly. And Moicano is a legit striker, good game plan. But I think Choi invites the brawl. He invites the madness a little bit. And I think that's where he's going to get into a little bit of trouble with Jeremy Stevens. That's not one guy you want to invite into your playground of madness. And I think that's where he's going to get in trouble with the third round. You know what? I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. I think he's going to take a beating. Choi's going to take a beating for like 3 or 4 rounds. It's going to be like that Dos Anjos fight a couple of weeks ago versus Lawler, where he just pieces him up. I think it'll be like that to the point where like if he doesn't finish him late, Jeremy, it's going to be like 49-46 or 50-45 on the scorecards. What are you guys thinking though?
I think Jeremy Stephens comes out with some great weaponry. He's been in the UFC for so long. I think that comes into play a lot, especially when guys are already in the UFC as well. I mean, Doho Choi had that fight with Cub Swanson and went the distance. An amazing fight. I saw it as well. Again, it's one of the best fights I've ever even been in the building for. Everyone was going crazy for it, and I think Duo Choi showed a lot of people that night what he can do, and yeah, he does have a bit of a rough style. He does not, have that that technique on the chin. He does kind of drop his hands, but he throws so confidently that having that opening can and sometimes does actually set people up who think it's easy to get. I think I saw Cub get hit by a lot of things that he just didn't exactly know was coming, or things that he tried to time, but I mean, Doho Choi just moved a little quicker. He seems to make a lot of split decision movement that actually works out for him. It almost seems like he's moving out of position, but bang, a kick comes, or a weird spinning elbow. Superboy's no stranger to kind of throw in some random punch, random kick. And so is Jeremy Stephens. I don't think we'll have to worry about submissions in this one. It's going to be pretty much all stand-up. Jeremy Stephens got some heavy kicks, though. Really sharp punches. Obviously, Jeremy Stephens, I think needs this win a little bit more than Duhu Choi. I mean, obviously, he lost his Cubs fight, and another win would be, putting him back up into something. But I think Stephens really wants it, and his last fight with Gilbert Melendez was pretty good. Got to a decision, and Gilbert Melendez, questionable at best. I mean, he lost his last 4, but I mean, I don't think fighting him isn't that beating him is that bad. Obviously, Doho Choi has had a great rest, and we'll see what happens. I think they were just kind of waiting for everything to be recovered and everything to be back on track with training and scheduling and everything. I'm pretty sure Doho Choi is isn't he like a pop star or something?
No, he looks like one.
Wasn't he? I thought someone. Did someone say he looked like one, or he is one?
No, he definitely looks like one.
Oh, okay. I thought he actually was one, so he maybe have to go back to that or something for a year.
Oh.
But I mean, he's definitely a killer, and we're gonna see. But Jeremy Stephens has 14 losses, and that's the exact same amount of wins that Doho Choi has. So the experience is already there. I think Jeremy Stephens wins it because of that experience. I think Doho Choi is still kind of growing as a fighter. Bit of a smaller frame. I think Jeremy can kind of throw him around a little bit more. Unless Doho Choi comes up with something really creative and lands that really big thing, Jeremy Stephens might go down. But even then, I mean, Jeremy Stephens has that same scary power, but a little more focused. And like you guys said, technique, if it's a little off, Jeremy Stephens will find it and throw something down the pipe for it. If Doho Choi can make an interesting movement and rock with it, or even take the punch and keep going, that's what's going to make the difference in this one.
Z?
Yeah, I see shots being open for Jeremy here, just because Choi doesn't really move his head enough. But what gave me pause to bet, not only the line movement because it's not where it was, but I do think we could see improvements. Now, I didn't when I thought that, I didn't realize that Choi had an injury from his time off since Cub. I thought he was just on the shelf, so I kind of liked that. But still, a year off. He's 26 years old. He just came through the hardest fight of his life. That's a growing experience for a young 26-year-old fighter. You know what I mean? And there's a reason. When I go back and I watch the tape, there is a reason that he was so hyped up. His striking is so fucking clean. It's so well timed. He feints and sets you up, draws you into stuff. He's very skillful. But when you're getting the plus money on Jeremy Stephens, when you know it's going to be a striking fight and you get Jeremy Stephens in that fight, Jeremy, here's a stat for you, okay? He's 31 now. He made his debut at Liddell versus Rampage. So when
Oh
Rampage
my
knocked out
goodness.
Liddell,
Yeah,
How-
isn't that
how old-
2004?
No, how
He's
old
like
was he?
20.
20 years old, yeah.
And think about this: he lost his fight to Din Thomas. He got submitted.
Dean
So
Thomas
he
was
loses
good
his
back
first
then.
fight there, and he's still in the UFC. Like just has this. No one has staying power like Jeremy Stephens. You know, he'll win 2, lose 2, lose 3, win 3. Just like always in the mix. You know, always.
Yeah, he always has his name in the mix.
Yeah, he's always there.
I think
And
the
when you look at
drop
him,
down to 145 was one of the best things he ever did, though.
oh, it was huge. That was amazing for him. You know, when did he do that too? He did that a long time ago, man. He did that in 2013. Went on a 3-fight streak, lost to Cub and Oliveira, beat the Bermudez in spectacular fashion. But recently,
That's the neon
obviously,
thing of Bermudez.
yeah. But recently, looked great against Gill, but Gill's pretty shot. Moicano was too slippery for him. Frankie's championship level, and that was a competitive fight, man, versus Frankie.
Yeah, man.
He beat Barao. He took it to Barao. In this fight, I just think I do like the fact that it's 5 rounds for Jeremy, because Duho Choi is definitely a front runner. A lot of his wins are in the first round. He seemed to gas later in the fight. Jeremy, like you said, has great conditioning nowadays. Has great fight IQ. Is more well rounded. He can bully Duho. He can land the bombs on Duho. But it's so hard for me to bet against that striking of Duho Choi at 26 years old. So for me, I'm hesitating on a bet. I would, if I had to bet one way or another, looking for value, I'd take Stephens. So I do like your bet there. Stephens and White are the 2 dogs I'm looking to bet, but haven't yet. So hopefully they both go back up to plus 150, and I can play around with them. But yeah, I'll say Jeremy Stephens knocks out Duho Choi in the 3rd and 4th round. I said 2nd and 3rd in my prediction video, but now that I'm just thinking about that cardio issue for Duho, and the experience for Jeremy and Jeremy's fought 5 rounds before. His fight versus Cub was 5 rounds, so you know he's been there. He's more conditioned now. I'm rambling. I'll take Little Heathen.
Oh, so you'll take Little Heathen?
Yeah, I will take him. I will take him, and I'm looking to bet him. It's just tough for me to put money down when I know that Choi's on the other side, and Choi's just gonna strike right down the pipe. You know,
but is he gonna like strike down the pipe for 5 rounds?
That's the thing. He's definitely gonna be a front runner. Like,
yeah.
If I was Jeremy,
is he gonna knock out Jeremy? You know,
maybe Jeremy's been knocked out before. Eve Edwards knocked him out, but that was a southpaw off a lead right hook.
Yeah.
Shout out to the lead right hook. But if I'm Del Fierro, the corner of Stephens, I'm saying, okay, we wrestle this kid for 2 rounds. You get him nice and tired.
See how he likes it.
Bomb on him. You bank 2 rounds early, tire him out, and then go to town in the 3rd. Just bomb on him.
That's what I wish he did, because he definitely has the wrestling, you know.
Oh yeah, and the size and just experience and strength and everything. But Duho's surprisingly physical. You know, it's because he looks so boyish. You kind of forget how jacked he is. Like, he's actually pretty jacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see the loopy shots of Stephens landing, and I do see the leg kick landing because Choi's heavy on that lead leg too. So, but if Jeremy's throwing a leg kick and Duho snipes that cross, I could see it being trouble for Stephens. You know, it's such a good fireworks type fight. You know.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think this is fight of the night. Written all over it, man. I think this is a great fight. But to wrap it up, that was UFC St. Louis. Stephens versus Choi. I'd like to thank my man Z for coming on, Gib for coming on. And hopefully we'll get Z on again very soon. But
I'm down anytime, man. Yeah. Shout out to the viewers of this, because this was a long one. So if you're still watching,
if you're still watching this, I love you so much. I love you. No. You're getting a retweet and everything. Just put your name on. If you're still honestly, if you're still watching this, tweet me right now and say you're still watching, please. Yeah.
Sandro Nellis. He loves these vids.
He's a good guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
My boy, I know Eric. Eric is there too for sure. Eric Stevens.
Yeah. You know who's there. And I started doing my channel again, so I'm going to be doing my own prediction videos.
Okay. So
nice.
Z brought back Z's MMA, everybody. So check out his prediction videos and whatnot. Did you put one out for today?
Yeah, I uploaded it right before we did this, so someone probably could have got.
check that one out.
the condensed version or just my version of it. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing them again.
All right, cool. So Z put up his St. Louis video. Go give that a check and a like and subscribe again to Z's MMA. And till next time, man. Till UFC 220. I think that's a big cut. I already put 8.25 units on Cormier, bro, to win 3 units at minus 275. Fuck.
That's a big bet, Sebs.
Fuck Volkan Ozdemir.
Nah, I don't think so. You don't.
Yo, it's Volkan. How can you bet?
Yeah.
Fuck Volkan Ozdemir.
No time.
You're making me seem like I was the only person thinking Volkan would have won that.
No, I'm bullshitting, man.
Oh, fuck. I'm a big fan of Volkan. I think he takes it because I think it's getting a little hard for Cormier to wrestle a lot of these guys, and he's getting cracked.
Not that guy. Buddy, watch him versus Kelly Anderson. I'm going to save it for next week, but just watch that fight. Everyone who's still watching, if you want to bet, watch Kelly Anderson versus Volkan Ozdemir.
But that's what we all thought when he came into we all saw that fight when he made his debut, and we picked
but OSP wasn't the grappler DC is.
That's true, but DC's taken a lot of punishment in the last 3 fights.
Not really. The Rumble Johnson
really.
one. He took a shot, and then he beat the fuck out of Rumble. He made him quit. He took a punishment in the John Jones fight. He took
before that. He took a punishment in the fucking Holland guy. Gustafsson. I don't know why it may escape me, but that Gustafsson fight was something. I mean, he had to throw tons of uppercuts. He had to take him down, and he didn't even know if he won the decision.
We're gonna save this for next week, but I want everyone to know that Volkan Ozdemir does not hit harder than Rumble Johnson. Stop telling me this in my DMs and shit. People are telling me.
I don't think he hits harder than Rumble.
It'd be nice if Rumble threw a punch, wouldn't it?
Oh, if Rumble threw a punch, he'd knock anyone out. But fucking, this guy does not hit harder than Rumble Johnson. There's no way. Z, you know that, man. Volkan does not hit harder than Rumble.
I know, but who cares?
He's not going to be able to knock out DC.
I think DC's spending too much time on the commentating table.
No way. We'll talk about this next week.
All right, yeah, we got to wrap it up.
All right. Till next time, everyone, take it easy. Thanks for watching. All the boys who are watching, still shout out to you. And till next time, peace out.
Thanks, guys.